3, 2, 1. Be on.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Why are you looking at me forlornly?
It's just my face.
So Melinda's feeling wistful today, apparently. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Michael.
Oh, I guess I should turn off my sound. Just in time.
Hi, peoples.
Careful the bounty hunters.
Oh my god, they're so delicate.
No disintegration.
Well, no disintegration. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday RetroBlasting live stream. I'm your host. I'm filled with despair and apathy. And these are my co-hosts.
Also filled with despair and whatever.
Also filled with despair and
Well, yeah, I'm
Hi,
happy.
I'm Apathy.
I'm despair.
I'm just here.
He's like, I don't feel comfortable.
Get excited for playset time.
I love playsets.
One thing I will say about a playset is it is the coolest gift you can get. It's like
I agree.
and the reason why is we were talking about this past Christmas because your girls got a playset.
They did. That would not have fit on this. It's like
That thing is
huge.
enormous.
Yeah,
I
and
saw
so
it last week.
The cool thing about a playset is it not only is a new toy in and of itself, but it like completely reframes all of your current toys. So like now your old toys have like a new area and like you can develop all kinds of new plot lines and character traits and all kinds of stuff. It's really cool.
They do.
Completely agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though Michael, you only had what? The Ewok? Was that the only one you had? Was
My
Ewok?
brother got Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain. I only got the Ewok Village. I never got Boulder Hill, which I really wanted. Didn't even know the Death Star existed until Star Wars was done. I found out about that in the late 80s. I wanted the playset for Voltron, the Castle Alliance, which I never got. That would have been nice. I only had the Ewok Village, which is why I did that video a few years ago about my blanket and blocks, the big duck
Yes.
blanket that I was really...
Well, we all did that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you made your own.
Right, yeah.
My bed, the top of my bed was like
your playset?
Yeah, it was kind of a giant playset and it had like never mind.
No,
I'll save that.
No.
You can't
No,
do
no,
that.
No.
Now I gotta know. I gotta
Yeah.
know what.
So my bed was like a wooden frame, right? So the
Right.
headboard and footboard, and then it had like these spokes, or what do you call them?
The
Spindle things. Anyway,
yeah.
Banisters.
The decorative pieces.
The wood
Columns.
column pieces. Anyways, so like
What
I
were
would
you
use that as
thinking?
like a jail or like a place that people would get like tied to if they were getting burned at the stake.
Good
Stuff
lord.
like that.
Wow.
Because a lot of times all of my plots
So-
involved kidnapping and being like tied up and chained up and tortured until like a whole crew of people came in to rescue people.
I know, right?
No, wait.
There's too much on that.
So yeah.
I've never heard this before.
I feel like we got a lot to talk about.
I was
so.
gonna say this right here could have been its
Are
own
you saying
live stream.
you didn't do that?
So ponies did a lot of witchcraft.
No,
then, is
but
what I'm hearing?
Barbies.
Oh, Barbies.
Oh, can you see that? Well, Ken, repent for your heresy.
You can use your hair ties to like tie them up to the.
Good lord. We're not even.
This is my favorite live stream ever.
We're not even. Oh, that reminds me. You got to do
What
that.
does that remind you of?
That reminds me.
Can I just really quick, Monkey Boy? Thank you very much for your super early super chat.
Today,
Great.
on a very
It was
special
great.
episode of
Listen.
RetroBlasting,
This is why I pound sodas and eat moon pies. Because I can't escape the depravity.
well, let me introduce you to whiskey.
Listen, I was into like
Don't
My-
tell the audience what you were into.
I was only like 6. Like
We're
what
not
could
even
I?
5 minutes into this place.
But I'm just saying, even at 6, you're like burning witches
Guys,
at the stake.
not for nothing, she did try to put the brakes on this.
I
She
did. You guys were like, no, you can't not
Oh,
tell
and I'm
it.
so glad you did, though.
I mean, I'm literally playing with like Luke and Jabba the Hutt, and I'm like,
Right,
oh, no.
yeah.
And she's over there like, nobody expects the Bobby Inquisition. Like,
Mostly it was like being kidnapped, buried alive,
Oh my god.
stuff like that.
I feel like you just added another
Okay,
dimension
that
to
is-
this.
Listen,
Precious.
my mom watched a lot of soap operas, and I
That
would watch
is-
them with her, and the plot lines on those things are insane. There was a lot of kidnapping going on and a lot of like crazy stuff, and so I would
She's
take
not
those
wrong.
ideas and like work those into my plot lines, and I would have like these long ongoing sagas with the characters. The whole
We
thing.
found your daughter's
I
white
mean-
and pink Jeep abandoned on State Route 4.
Donovan,
About
what are you
5
doing
miles-
here?
About 5 miles from the wood mill. Is this your
Do you,
daughter's
do you
license
need to
plate?
talk to somebody, Melinda? I'm just asking, just saying. Are you okay?
I'm talking to people right now, right?
Donovan, what are you doing here? I thought you were dead.
We suspect Ken
No,
one of the-
I'm
That
not
was my
Donovan.
identical twin.
I'm his twin.
we
But the
I've
real
had
Donovan-
amnesia for the last 6 years.
But the real Donovan climbed out of the well.
We've got some super chats.
Oh, I bet we do.
I can only imagine.
I tried to like change the subject. I just want to.
No, this is gold. This right here is like could
We
not have
believe
gone
her.
any better.
We believe her husband Ken had plans to run off with Skipper. And he needed Barbie out of the way.
How depraved. Wasn't Skipper like underage?
We think she
Yeah,
might
she was like 13.
we think she might have 3 hours.
He was
better
Woody
life.
Allen after all. Anyway,
Oh my
Vinkman says, "Sorry, I can't play with you guys today. I just popped in to say hi. What Aaron, the Aaronest Aaron that ever Aaron really needs, is a Saturn playset."
Sounds a lot better than a Jupiter playset.
Bradshaw Studio says, "Did you guys watch a show car time team? Show car time."
Called Time Team.
Yeah, we watch
Show-
Time Team a
Oh.
lot.
Time
yeah, Time Team is a British archaeology
Oh yeah, I
show.
haven't seen it.
Yeah,
did
we
you ever
watch it all the time.
Did you ever watch
Team.
Blackadder?
Yes.
Remember
Yes.
the little guy who was always next to Rowan Atkinson,
Right,
Tony
yeah.
Robinson?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the host of the show.
Oh, okay. It's
a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Wicked Person says, "My parents could be convinced to get me a figure or a vehicle, usually not both, but never a playset. Lone Migo Spock did lots of solo away missions."
Logically, I work better alone.
Was he kidnapped? Was he buried alive? That's the real question.
Pedro
Logically, I have 600 breaths left in this airbox under the ground.
Pedro Present says, "And you're a nurse?"
Yes, she is.
Kieran says, "Next on Melinda's Bedroom Secrets." Look, I'm just being honest,
Look,
you guys.
This is great. I love it.
Listen, here's the thing.
That's
A lot of
awesome.
times, like, girls don't get to discuss the way we played with our toys. And the reality is,
Well, now we know why. I mean,
the reality is, if any of you guys, if you're married or you have your sister or whatever, ask them if they did similar things. I cannot be the only one because I know numerous other girls did stuff like this. And it's why all women are super into true crime and you guys are like, ooh. So I'm
gonna ask my wife. When
Ask
I get
her.
Home.
Ask her,
gonna
do
ask
it.
her, Did you
and
have
you'll
your Barbies?
and then you'll learn that you should live in fear.
Why wasn't there a Barbie crime van? Like, why?
I would have loved that.
she
Like a
was a-
Nancy,
like-
even a Nancy Drew style thing. Like they always had Barbie doing these like corporate things or working.
Not.
I know, but like
Well, and look at where we are now.
I'm just saying, like
No,
crime solving Barbie, like FBI Barbie, I would have been all over that. Police woman Barbie, like something like that.
Look,
I'm just
not
saying.
arguing with you.
Little
I-
Barbie
I don't-
handcuff. Never mind. Scott says, "Happy to see the Enterprise there. Across their licenses, Mego delivered an awful lot of play value with some thin cardboard and plastic sheeting."
They did.
Yes.
They were excellent at that. We were actually talking about how this live stream was going to be based around the types of play sets. In other words, we're going to discuss the various pros and cons of types. The Mego Enterprise is what I call a hinged play set. It's a play set that the world opens up on a hinge or multiple hinges.
Do you want to tell us the types?
Wait,
you want
wait
to
a
go through
minute,
those
wait a
real
minute.
quick?
I do have to ask, what do you consider an unhinged playset?
Melinda's bed.
Yeah, right?
I'm sorry I asked.
Sorry,
ladies and
sorry,
gentlemen,
I
sorry I
couldn't
asked.
resist.
Melinda's
can't
bed,
resist.
circa 1983.
Not better. Not making it better.
I feel like I'm sorry I asked the question, ladies and gentlemen.
I retract the question, Your Honor.
I thought we had all agreed on some ground rules, but apparently
I
this has all gone horribly wrong. I'm enjoying the irony that we're all experiencing right
I'm
now.
loving this
You're
live
welcome.
stream right now.
So there's the hinge playset, which the world opens up, right? You can have feet. Would you stop?
Thing.
Just the dreamland moment. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm pulling it in.
I didn't say a
I'm with
word.
you. I'm in solidarity with
Okay,
you, brother.
thank you.
That's all.
So there are hinge playsets.
There
What
are
are some
hinge-
other types?
Okay, there are the facade playsets, like this.
So why don't I get up and let's zoom in? Look, so just so we get this out of the way early, there's about a bajillion play sets here. We couldn't fit them all up here.
Yeah, they're
So
big,
what I'll do is I'm going to get up and while you
Mhm.
explain, I'm going to pan around real
Okay,
quick.
so we'll go this
can
way.
I
Yes.
can I real quick time
Uh-huh.
out. Don't move yet. I've got 400 super
Okay,
chats I
let's
need
do
to
the super
read,
chats,
and
then we'll do
then
the
and
thing.
then we'll do the things. So I just want to get caught up before they go away forever. A World Made of Cardboard said, I found playsets to be like the Build-A-Figure today. It made you want to get more figures to fill out the set. It was
Yes.
like printers and ink. You buy the playset at cost, pay a little more for the figures.
Yep.
Very true.
That's
There was a
good
lost
point.
leader.
I'll give you the first one for free.
Barbie.
Uh-huh.
You want a Death
Hey,
Star?
you want to get in my van? I got some.
Oh, no,
I got
that-
some kittens back here.
Now I know what you would do with that van.
A world made of I wanted the Barbie van. A world made of cardboard again says, since both my parents were teachers in Louisiana, most of my playsets were cardboard. Well, that's shocking.
They ended up being the best playsets anyway.
You know, you could have made some really cool ones yourself with
Oh, yeah.
cardboard. I mean, if any of us had thought of that. It wasn't as easy to come by cardboard like now with Amazon. We're literally
Well,
swimming in cardboard.
Amazon
but-
plus the COVID, social distancing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
lock-in stuff. I think we've probably got more cardboard in our homes.
You must be loving this.
Yeah, world made of cardboard's like, yes, it's my time.
What's my plan?
Where are my scissors?
Yeah, I remember that we would cut trapdoors into cardboard
Yes.
boxes
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff. But then my parents would eventually be like, "Can we get rid of that cardboard box?" I'd be like, "No," and then they'd take it from me.
Yeah, I do that.
Construction,
now.
that's
Your
I-
dad's like, I can't wait to recycle that. Monkey Boy says, Boulder Hill was the one place that I always wanted but never owned. Love masks so much. Those toys were excellent.
Yep, Boulder Hill was the one I wanted that got away. That was the big one. So
Wicked Person says, Melinda may relate. On cold winter days, Han got frozen in carbonite repeatedly, and once some Smurfs went to hell, an old toaster over and over got melted.
Michael's
Nice.
twitching a little bit.
I feel you, man. Yeah.
that's like the
He's
Joker.
Canadian, and they're just like, they're both friendly and warped.
Oh my gosh.
That's like the Joker.
I'm saying that in a great way.
It's like
I
the
think
Joker
that's on the-
pushing Batman
Yeah.
The
towards
slogan:
the
"Come to
pencil
Canada,
sharp.
we're friendly and warped."
That's right.
You'll never get out of this, Batman. No.
Zantara says Coroner Barbie. That would have been amazing. Now I want that.
Now I want-
somebody make
for a
me a
limited
Coroner
time.
Barbie.
Jaws victim Barbie.
Oh my god.
We need to
So
do.
great.
Okay, Michael, I'm looking at you for this one. We need to do a series of commercials that look like actual '80s toy commercials, but they're for ideas like this, like Coroner Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really excelled at some of that
Ken-
when you do the fake like bank robbery skit, but we
from Playmobil.
but we add the 4x3
Oh, man.
and
Yes.
the TV.
Chris
fuzz
Worsley
to it.
says CSI Malibu Barbie. Malibu Barbie. Okay.
He's not wrong.
Fade to Black
Think of-
says Melinda had the Black Dahlia playset.
I'm just
That
thinking
would have
about,
been
like-
amazing
I'm just thinking
too.
about like Ken's rickety van down by the river, like
Right?
you know.
It needs to be like have a unicorn inside
Yeah.
of it.
Wicked,
No, a wizard.
Wicked
That was-
Person
yeah, that
says,
was-
didn't every girl chop their Barbie's hair off? Absolutely not. No. Even though I did all of this stuff, if you came near my Barbie with scissors or did anything to destroy them, I would lose it. Like, I was never a destructive. Like,
So
I
you
never.
never actually burned a witch at the stake.
Absolutely
You just
not.
pretended that they were.
No, they would
consumed
be
in flames.
about to be burned, and then they would miraculously get captured. Because the cool part for me was like being the person that comes in and the hero, and saving the day.
So the other types of play sets.
Okay, I'm almost done
Okay,
with
wait,
these, but
wait,
we've got
wait,
a
we
bunch of super chats, and so I will.
That's a large super chat. Thank you.
Raymond, thank you so much. He says, "Okay, I have now set a new record for the fastest time from laughing so hard from the start of a RetroBlasting live stream. Melinda, you are so wickedly adorable. Also, I love seeing the Enterprise crew in their new home. Is no one going to comment on the visitor that they have?
Oh,
I don't
that's
think
right.
they've
there's a
noticed yet.
visitor.
I mean,
Somebody has.
There's a Where's
Yeah.
I
Waldo
feel like
in
maybe I've
there.
just missed it in the comments. All right. A World Made of Cardboard says, my youngest daughter had a Little People house playset, but she would mix it up, though. Little People would be visited by a giant Barbie, a Lightning McQueen, and Godzilla. Well, yeah, I mean, I would mix stuff up. Like,
Yeah, we all did.
yeah,
We
you
had
have to. You have
had
to.
yes.
Well, I mean, you
That
would
was the
have,
magic of a playset, is
there
that
were a
everything
few
else would
things you
come to
couldn't
it.
mix, though.
Oh,
Well, now do tell.
says the lady who blended
Well, like those
witches
little-
and death.
You know those little Smurfs that were like this big?
Yes.
You couldn't really mix those with like Barbies and strawberry shortcakes. And because like the ponies, My Little Ponies were about the size of a strawberry shortcake. So they were like their ponies and stuff like that. So everybody had to have ponies because that's how you ride to save the people who were being Never mind.
I'll
I
say
still
I
think
did
you
not
could work
mix,
Smurfs in.
I did not mix Marvel and DC. It didn't happen.
Yeah,
You
there's
don't-
some stuff you
didn't
just-
cross the streams.
Exactly. You just can't.
didn't.
You
No,
can't.
I think Iron Man and Captain America, who are my two Secret Wars figures, sometimes teamed up with Batman and Superman because
I
they were
never-
the same scale.
Never. They were the same scale, but I couldn't do it.
That would be the
It
kind
felt
of like
wrong. It just
world
felt
blending fun, though, that I think I might have had with some of those. Is actually taking
felt
people
wrong.
from the wrong,
He doesn't know
channels.
anything about world blending fun.
What?
Oh, right.
No.
No,
Now my
we
G.I.
talked about-
Joes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Kieran Ball says this episode of
hell does
RetroBlasting
that
may
mean?
not be suitable for young children. However, I was a young child when I did those things. So, irony. Sal, very
Whoa, thank you
generous
for the
super
super
chat.
chat,
He
Sal.
says, for the fellowship, the vast majority of my playsets were made. One of my, I guess you mean homemade. One of my favorite was a vinyl pull-down blind that I drew lakes and fields on. Oh, that's smart.
That actually is brilliant.
I'd put those generic hollow volcanoes on it. It was multi-purpose, dinosaurs, Joes, etc.
Yeah, that's actually
smart,
very
man.
smart.
That's
I wish
a really
I had
cool.
thought of that.
I wish I had thought of that too. Just think of the cool stuff.
No
What do you want
kidding.
for Christmas? I want a
Stone
pull-down
walls.
blind.
And then your parents lose their mind when they see you drew on it with a Sharpie.
Yeah.
All right, you're good to
Good
go.
to go. Okay,
do the
good to go.
things.
All right, so we're gonna go through. We're gonna go from the top over here, and we're
Part
gonna.
over there and move on.
Yeah, I don't know how easy it'll be to see everything though, but we're gonna try.
Well, we'll point a camera at it.
Okay,
That
so
should
you
help.
said hinged playsets. We've already talked about those.
Right, but I'm gonna go through what each one is. Okay, so the Firehouse is what's known as what I call a tower playset, where you play around it, and it has multiple levels that are vertical, but it doesn't have like a hinge. It's not a facade. It's a 3D object. All right. Next to it is the Filmation Ghostbusters Ghost Command playset. Now that playset is a hinged playset like Castle Grayskull or the Mego Enterprise. It opens up to reveal a world. Next to that you have, it's harder to see.
It's hard to see that.
There's the two GoBots playsets. The GoBot Command Center is a hinged playset that's also a vehicle, which is a type, a playset that doubles as a vehicle, right? Then next to it is Thruster, which is another playset that doubles as a vehicle. Now after that, you have a new type. The Brave Star for Kyrium is what Tim and I sort of called like a top-down landscape playset, where much like the G.I. Joe headquarters, you sort of set up like a footprint, and then there's some 3D facades for buildings and things like that the characters can get behind, but it's more of interacting with it from the top down. After that, you have the Crystar Crystal Castle. That is a classic facade playset. It's a front with, you flip it around, and then the back is, you play on the front, you play on the back, but it doesn't have a hinge. It doesn't have multiple levels really. It is what it is. All right. Behind it on the next case is the Kenner Death Star playset. That is a tower playset, multiple levels. The AT-AT, I see it as a vehicle, but some people call it a vehicle playset. I don't know. Now, the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves playset, which is a recycle of the Ewok Village, that playset is really like, it's kind of got a tower configuration to it. Even though it's only a second level, you play around it, and there's no facade, there's nothing opening up, you know what I'm saying? So it's in that tower, that tower type.
I would even say it's a little bit of a footprint.
Yeah, a tower meets a footprint, yeah. All right, so you got the Imperial Shuttle, you got another Ewok Village. All right, so we go over to the Castle of Lions. The next three playsets you're going to see are classic hinge playsets. So you've got Castle of Lions, you've got Castle Grayskull, and you've got Snake Mountain. Those are all hinged playsets.
What a handsome neighborhood.
Yeah. Now after this, you've got a play set which I'm calling the diorama because there are a few places. This is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers base, but there are play sets like it, like the Hordak Fright Zone, which are kind of just like little dioramas with a kind of corner of the building, the most important corner of the environment, built up in 3D, and that definitely falls under that category, like a diorama playset. Then next to it, you have the Technodrome, which is a hinge playset. It opens up to reveal the world inside. And then you have the Sewer playset, which is more of a... It's almost like the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, where it's kind of...
Those connect, though, too, right?
They do connect, right. But that's...
So it's more like a hamster village.
It's... Yeah.
The Hamster Village playset.
It's...
You kind of get both.
It's like an environment. It's almost like diorama meets
Hinge.
landscape, because there's no hinge. There's no hinge in it. The hinge literally physically means it has a hinge or multiple hinges.
The Terradrome, doesn't it?
No, the Technodrome does, but the Sewer playset doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
After that is the Fortress of Steel for RoboForce. That is a hinge playset all day. And then after that is the SDF-1, which is a tower playset with a wide footprint. It's its own animal, the SDF-1.
And then we have many behind us we will not try.
Right. There's many, many more.
And the flag.
And the flag, which is a vehicle that
It's
is
a-
a playset.
It's a coffee table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want me to zoom in on the special one that we have?
Oh, the Hive? Yeah, we can talk about the Hive. So
We haven't really shown that one to the audience. Right?
yeah, so the Hive here is a facade. Like it is... The Hive is a facade playset all day long. It's just a big plastic shell with some features on the front and then an environment in the back.
It looks like it was vacuum formed.
Yes, it is vacuum formed Coleco plastic.
Which means it must be tough to maintain.
Yeah.
But that one looks
They're
really
also
good.
kind of difficult to get to stand up because sometimes they just want to tip over.
Like the base of it will flex, from
Yeah,
the
just-
weight of it and not
yeah.
quite. Or if you're just having fun playing with it, you'll
A
just lock the
gentle
whole thing.
breeze
Yeah.
blows through your bedroom. And Peter Vinkman says, confused grown-ups bombarded me with the Filmation Ghostbusters house, car, and figures. Real Ghostbusters toys would follow, but the Filmation toys were cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love the toys. I think
Oh, yeah, they were really cool.
they're way better than the show.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I
Hands
think
down.
I feel like the Filmation toys are better than the real Ghostbusters.
Well, yeah.
That
'cause
car
they're-
is outrageous.
I mean, it is.
Yes.
All of
Well,
it
just
is
the
just
like a
full-
living
everything,
cartoon.
The functionality of that
Of that
place.
playset.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Wicked Person says, sensors indicate the being is an Italian from your 20th century, Captain. He has sustained significant neurological damage.
Well done.
See what I mean about Canadians? See what I mean? I'm just kidding.
I mean, this is a pretty amazing ship.
And Kurt keeps getting angrier and angrier.
I'm in space, but I ain't seen nothing yet that makes me see like stars or anything. One time Apollo, he hit me so hard I saw stars. But hey, anyway,
Will somebody
Great.
stun him? He can't be stunned, Captain.
He just keeps coming back.
You know what I enjoyed about that figure is that when you take off his whole Rambo getup,
Okay.
he's wearing a bodysuit. It's like a gray bodysuit.
And
I was
Melinda did
She's not
wheel
wrong.
with delight when she discovered.
I was like, oh my God, it's a body. Well, I mean, how else would it stay tucked in?
I just feel sorry for that figure, knowing that figure is Melinda's, because goodness knows what's going to happen.
It's going to be
that poor
tied
guy.
to the
He's
stake,
going to be tied to the stake.
buried alive.
I didn't bite the heads off no chickens. I didn't even know that was satanic. What are we talking about? Help me! Help me!
You know what's really like a shame about like 80s soap operas is that no one saved them. And so like you can't go back and rewatch that. So the plot line about my favorite character who literally did get buried alive, like I would love to go back and watch that again and see how cheesy it is now, but I mean,
Somewhere there's a VHS library
that
has like
I don't-
840 hours of your favorite soap opera. on it.
I would watch that all day long during quarantine times.
Every time we try and bring it back to play,
I know, but it's just
You guys brought it up. You guys brought it up.
We did bring it up.
think
You
yeah,
brought it
you
up.
did.
Well, you originally brought it up
With
by
your-
telling us your
Tim
messed
told
up
me I
story
had
about
to.
your childhood.
I did tell her she had to, and it was brilliant.
King Eric says Christmas 2021 Puritan Barbie with Gallows playset.
Yeah,
I'm glad I wasn't drinking.
with real metal hat buckles. Like,
I'm just saying this stuff sells itself.
That's
FBI
good
Barbie.
stuff. That's
I
just
mean,
good
Yeah.
stuff.
make one that looks like Mulder and Scully.
I feel like
Yes.
if we walked
Why
into
do we not have this?
I feel like if we walked into her childhood bedroom, like just if we went back in time,
She
you
would have
open-
killed. She
you-
would have
no,
killed
no,
us.
she's not even there. You just open the door to her bedroom, and all you hear on the wind is Ichabod. Like it's like, what is going on?
With the winds and snow
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
the window.
Every other house in the.
I mean,
every
they're
other
not
window in the house
wrong.
is
They're not
summer,
wrong. Yeah.
But for some reason, in her bedroom, it's always winter.
always
and
winter.
You
and
open the
dark.
window.
Yeah, that's true.
There's frost on the glass.
I'm frozen to the glass.
It was 142 degrees outside.
Keith Knight says Witch Coven Barbie and Witchfinder General Ken. Draugr says, didn't Barbie actually make an X-Files set? They may have, but I never
they?
saw it. I would love that.
Just a few years ago, they did an X-Files commemorative.
Really?
I tried to find it for you. Remember, we went to Target a few times looking for it. Mulder and Scully.
I have
Oh,
no memory
I
of
gotta
this
eBay
place.
that. I
You
gotta
weren't
eBay
listening to me that day, so
I
I'm gonna
got
have to find
yeah,
it.
we
That's
gotta-
probably
we gotta find
true.
that for
Yeah.
her now.
That's
We got to
probably
find
true.
that just for Melinda.
Half the time we go to Target, I say things, she doesn't listen.
That's
Well, she's
fair.
at Target. It's so distracting.
It's like a playset.
Think how many
For
stories
adults.
I could tell with this stuff. A World Made of Cardboard says, I know it will seem obvious, but I was fascinated with the decreasing use of cardboard in playsets over the years.
Yeah.
Star Wars had some cardboard at the beginning, but it phased out over the years.
Yep.
Not so much in like Europe and England.
No,
and stuff like that. I
no,
mean,
they did some really amazing things with heavy cardstock.
why do you think that is? Like,
I think more and more kids just ended up in America, especially. I think the sales of all plastic playsets really outweighed the sales of the older cardboard style 60s,
I would
70s
buy that.
style playsets,
I
and
would
so
buy
they
that.
just defaulted over to phasing that out of a lot of their stuff. Now the funny part is cardboard's back because that's all they can afford to make.
Well, and it's funny you say that. So I have a question then.
Uh-huh.
So, do you think there's an age limit that you tend to want play sets versus not? Because if I think back, I was very lucky. I did get a Death Star play set when I was really, really young because of I wigged out over Star Wars. But then I'm trying to think of the next play set I got, and I want to say it was Snake Mountain, and that was it. I don't think I had any
Right.
other play sets.
Well, even adult collectors now, the older you get, the more invested you get in the action figures themselves. And you may not have the room or even the want to spend the money on those big items that you
Right.
don't know where to put them. So, for example, back to your Death Star thing, a lot of Star Wars collectors. Oh, am I too low?
yeah.
I'm too low.
I find that hard to believe, but
A lot of Star Wars
Should we
collectors.
trade?
A lot of Star Wars collectors collect the trash monster from the Death Star
But
as a
not the
figure,
Death
but
Star.
not the Death Star.
I would want the trash compactor with the sponges because
Well, yeah.
I kept that for years.
Right, but they will actually collect the figures. Like, for example, they want the figures out of the Defiant, the Flag, all those, but they don't want the
Oh.
play sets themselves.
I wouldn't want the Defiant either. I would just,
Well-
who really wanted the Defiant? I mean,
There were people that wanted the Defiant.
At a
Okay,
glance,
you know
it seems
what?
cool.
Hey.
At a glance, it does seem cool to
at
me.
a glance, yeah, but it's just the playability.
Having
is
seen
very
the
low.
blood that actually was spilled by you two trying to just get the lift to work, I'm like, I don't want to maintain.
Did you
it.
know? Did you know that the Defiant was the inspiration for the song "Cumbersome"?
Ew.
It makes sense.
Your hatred of '90s
It
never
makes
ceases
sense.
to amuse me.
The one play set that got away from me that I always wanted though, Terror Drum.
The Terror Drome,
Terror
and
Drome.
that is like a tower meets a.
Yes.
Well, I guess it is really a tower place.
Because it doesn't open. It's just,
Well, it has the opening panels.
doors, yeah.
the doors, but it's
That
a
thing
tower
is
place.
These are
Even
not
now
hard
it's
and
cool.
fast categories.
They're not.
There's overlap.
But there is some sort
Unlike
of
with
there
movie
are
genres.
similarities from
Yeah.
certain types to other types. I mean, configurations have general.
But that one
similarities.
just seems like it
supporting
would have
you.
been so much fun.
Oh, my cousins had
Yeah.
it.
Cast.
Ah, see, I never even got to see
But
one.
I only got to
until
see it,
here.
I only got to see it the one time.
Yeah.
Super chats.
Oh, sorry.
Robert says, hypothetical for the RetroBlasting team. You've all been shrunk down to action figure scale. What
Which one?
vintage toy playset would you call home?
Oh, Terradrome. Terradrome. For me.
There's
Very,
no roof.
very happy home.
I don't need the roof.
What if it rains?
If I'm an action figure, I'm going to be inside anyways.
How do you know? You played with your action figures outside.
No, I played with certain action
If
figures.
your owner
outside.
is Sid, you are effed. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then playsets don't matter at all.
Well, that's true. I would say that my preferred playset, if I was an action figure, would be the Millennium Falcon. Because it's a playset and a vehicle, and I could fly to other places and do all sorts of cool things.
You didn't say it was operational.
One of the types,
One of the
is,
types is
vehicle as a
vehicle.
playset. You lose.
I would say either the strawberry shortcake berry happy home because it's so enormous and there's like a nice bed there and it's cozy and comfortable, or the Barbie van so that I could go on missions
And kill.
as previously discussed. Aaron?
I would sit.
Yeah.
I
You
would.
just said vehicles count.
certain vehicles.
Oh, screw
The
you.
bar-
You don't
no,
get to shoot
yeah,
me
the
down.
The Barbie van.
The Barbie van is like a thing. There's a Camper Winnebago version that is like you
That's
could.
a playset.
That's a playset.
All right, so as long as you're not talking about like the Jeep or the.
Dude,
I'm not
Got a
talking about a
canopy.
Jeep. Did I say Jeep or Corvette? No, I did not.
You lose.
Yeah.
Flawless victory.
Guys, I would pick the SDF one, but I just sit in it and play vinyl records and
That
read
is-
paper books. That's all I do.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good playset
That's
to pick,
great.
though. It does have a cool.
Michael
I'm
would
shocked
come by and I'd
nobody
just
picked
be
the flag.
just sitting there in a lawn. No.
Well,
heck
it's
no.
just it's flat.
Well, it is, but like
there's
think
nowhere
about
to
you could
live
like
in
take
it.
any of the jets and go off on a day vacation
I mean,
and then
if
come
you're
back.
saying if we're in pretend land and it's a full aircraft,
Well, we
carrier,
are. Like, look where we are.
Well, this, I mean, you know,
I'm still happy with my choice. I'm going to stick with it.
King Eric says The Crucible, starring Barbie and Pinkie Pie. Nice.
very cool.
How am I still happy?
Matthew Poe says, Michael, do you have the G.I. Joe Cobra Silent Castle?
No, the Silent Castle is a custom, and to my knowledge, it hasn't been released yet. I've only seen
I was
images
fixing
of
to
it.
say I've not seen this.
Yeah, I showed you the mock-up of the box of the guys who wanted to make it. Remember, it was the big Cobra Pyramids of Darkness Castle.
Oh, that. Would
Remember,
be-
because it was the one
yeah,
that's
was
going to
cool.
fit multiple his tanks and all that stuff. But I don't recall anybody actually having fabricated it yet. It's just images on the internet.
It'll sneak up on you. It's pretty quiet.
Eric O'Sullivan says, I'm
like a
late.
sail
I'm
barge.
late. Oh, man, Eric, you missed some stuff.
Just scroll back. You'll catch
Yeah,
up.
you did.
Yeah, you wanna go back and read that. Wicked Person, still acquiring individual plastic bits for my Palatoy Death Star. People want to charge a mint for those.
Yeah, they do. Especially the
That's
little.
why we have repro.
The turret?
That's a good point, Melinda.
Yes.
Carl says, my favorite Star Wars playset as a kid was cardboard boxes from the supermarket joined with masking tape, cut out doors, made slides and lifts. See,
That was fun
that
stuff to
never
figure
even
out.
like occurred to me to
I
do
did
that.
the box
Yeah.
thing, but I love the shade idea. The pull down.
That
the
is
shade.
smart. That's real
I
smart.
actually had a kind of a little entertainment center because we all had the little 13-inch TVs in our bedrooms as
Nope.
80s kids. So I had this little entertainment center that fit a TV and it had a door under it and some shelves, and that became Cybertron for me for all my
Well, the
Transformers.
TV would be perfect for that.
So,
You know what would
yeah.
be cool
What
is
would
if
you
you
put
had
on
one
it?
of those felt things.
Transformers.
Well, I mean, during only that part of the day. So you would have to wait, like, I could play Transformers now.
For 30 minutes. no, I'd have whatever's playing on the TV just playing. So
It'd be
Well-
Donahue.
Wildstar Studio says $20 plastic shelves make a great custom playset.
yes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They do.
Let's see. Keeps flipping on me. I hate this interface so much. Zantara says, my sister and I only had Strawberry Shortcake Bakery, and it was great. Oh, yeah, the bakery is great. Strawberry Shortcake was an amazing toy line. Dolls still have their scent. Yeah, they had a lot of cool playsets. I had the gazebo playset, which was fun because it was, I don't know what type you would call that, but it was literally just a gazebo that opened up and then it had stuff that
So it had
kinda went
hinges?
with it.
Had hinges.
It
Yeah.
didn't have hinges.
And how did it
Yeah.
open?
Meaning it had, I don't know if it had doors, but I'm just saying it's there was stuff that came with it that you would set out
Okay.
around it. Like
All right.
it didn't
Maybe a
move; it had no
footprint
moving
then?
part.
Like it was part tower, part
Or a
footprint.
diorama.
Yeah, something like that. I don't
Yeah.
really understand the differences between those, but yeah, it wasn't hinged.
was
There was the
unhinged.
Very Happy Home. They had an ice cream. It was like a picnic table that you could put with your, where they had like little bowls
Mhm.
that they could eat their ice cream out of and stuff like
Right.
that. So
There wasn't there like a yeah. I will say the best play sets though still have to give to my sister with the Barbies. The
They had
Barbies had the
amazing
most
play sets.
detailed.
that
play
McDonald's
sets.
playset still
Oh my
stands
God,
out
that's
to
still
me.
yeah, the McDonald's,
I had
the
that.
Barbie, the Winnebago.
Yeah, the Winnebago was
that
awesome.
thing was huge. My sister had that thing. I mean, she could fit in it. You know, playing with her Barbies. The Barbie home I thought was super detailed. Just those Barbie things were like
Yeah.
crazy detailed.
Yeah, and the
compared
cool
to
thing
ours.
about Barbie too was like we could buy like you could just buy a big sack of clothes. Some of them weren't even Barbie brand; they were like off brand, but they would fit your Barbie, so you could get them kind of cheap on the Spiegel catalog for Christmas or whatever. So you get a bag of clothes, and it would give you like costume changes, you know. So another cool way to change up your existing
I think it
dolls.
was
You
cool.
guys didn't have that option
No.
unless you did like
can-
Mego, but
I can hear Melinda now. You wore that to your last witch burning.
true.
Look,
Yeah.
I have the Mego Kirk,
There was a lot
the
of
original series, and the rock climbing Kirk.
There's a lot of shade being
Star Trek
thrown by
5.
Barbies, like at the ball, like when they go to the dance at the end of the like thing, because there's always a dance at the end of everything, right? And so they go and they show up, and that's the top of the bed is the dance floor, and that's when you play your ABBA tape, and you're like, "You are the dancing queen," and like, and then they're all dancing because they're like,
love-
"Yay,
I
I
love that.
escaped torture," and it's like, didn't you wear that to the last dance? God, April.
And then cut.
Yeah,
It's time for a sandwich.
that's right.
We
Your
were-
mom calls you.
Yeah,
Simple,
I got
simple
sandwich.
creatures.
I was a naive
We-
individual. There I am, just you know.
You know, when I wasn't
That's
making
the
up
Luke.
those stories, I was making up stories about the world I lived in and then telling all the neighborhood kids like fake stories about like that guy that lives over in that house, he like murders children and hides their bodies in his pool. Don't go over. Don't walk over there, you guys. Seriously. He comes out on the second
Do
Tuesday
you
of
realize
every
what would
Poor
happen?
dude.
Do you realize what would happen if kids today with the internet would do that stuff? Then the other kids run
I
home and
mean,
tell people on
I'm
the
so
internet.
glad I grew up in the 80s, you guys. Scott says
Do not do that.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Go
I wake
ahead.
up
Any
thinking,
kids watching, that is not a suggestion.
Melinda is not a role model.
oh my god.
Scott says, I think there's an interesting hubris in some toy lines that as they got successful, the playsets began trading play value for size. The poster child for this is the flag, a cool display piece, but not much fun to play with.
It's not much fun to play with.
I
although
agree with
once
you.
Once you put it up on that plinth, though, it's a beautiful display
it's-
piece.
And then
well,
that
it would be
dumb
fun to play
space
with.
shuttle, like that's a dumb toy.
Well, that's the Defiant.
Whatever. I don't like it.
I like
think it's
looking
I
at
think
it.
it's so big that it's unwieldy and you can't play with it easily.
I like seeing it on TV and coveting it. But
Really?
yeah, in person, I was just a little bit nonplussed by it.
So you would say that a playset can be too big.
I mean, I actually kind of agree because look what's behind me.
I think that's
and
ridiculous.
It's pretty useless.
I feel like it's once you get to a certain size, it's
pretty useless.
It's so big your parents aren't going to want to buy it for you. Let's be
Right.
honest. It takes up too much real estate in
It's
your
a piece
bedroom.
of furniture.
And like what if
Right?
okay, say Michael, you got the Hive, not that you would have ever gotten that, but like say you
Okay.
had gotten that as a thing
All right.
and it's taking up room and you're sitting there and you start to resent it because you're like think of I could get like 2 or 3 other play sets to put in this space or for the money
well, and
that I would cuz I mean, can you play with GI Joes with that? No, they're totally out of scale. I mean,
don't
you
know,
could,
though.
You could
Yeah.
maybe
yeah, I
make
could
it
have
work.
made,
but,
Find a
like,
way.
made that work.
I don't know.
Yeah, Joe's will find a way.
It doesn't have a lot going on with it, and so
Well,
it's
and
just
and I don't know why I even said it, but I did have one other playset that I took everywhere with me, which I did have the Starriers.
Yeah, that's the Starriers playset over there.
And
though.
I loved, that thing worked with Star Wars figures, GI Joes, the Starriers robots, GoBot.
Mhm.
I mean, and what was great is when it folded up, it all snapped together. You could take that thing with you in the car, like you could take it to
Right.
your grandmother's house, whatever. So that thing went with me everywhere, and it was so versatile. You could use it for so many things.
Could you fit toys? Like, could you put your figures in it while you
Yes.
carried it? Because that would be
Yes.
big too.
That
'cause
was the big
I
thing,
really
yep.
do like how compact
Well,
that
that's
is.
what
And
that pickle ship has going for it.
that's not what I thought you said. But it really
Right?
does seem like the kind of
Yes.
thing that Star Wars characters, you could have the whole
Yes.
bunker scene from
Yep.
Return of the Jedi
Yep.
in front of this, and it feels like the shield generator or something. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Monkey Boy says, I have a Scooby-Doo haunted mansion. Loads of play features on that sucker for sure. Now, when
I
did
don't
that
remember
come
that
out?
one.
Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that must have been
That's interesting. I'll have to look
90s?
that up.
That maybe it was 90s or aughts. Maybe it was a more recent thing.
It
Or
has
was
to
it an
be, but
older thing?
they don't have
Wouldn't have been in the
stuff
70s.
from the
They didn't allow
70s. They
toys
didn't
in the
allow
70s.
that.
So
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wolfie.
thank
wow.
you so much, Wolfie.
Yeah.
He says, was lucky enough to get a Dino Riders Brontosaurus for Christmas in
Oh.
1988.
That was a big deal.
I
That,
would
thing,
s-
that thing walked, didn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it powered? Yeah.
I would say it was more of a playset as it did not have the motorized walking feature the other DR sets shared. It had a massive gun.
That one did.
It had a massive gun and missile platform with 5 seats, including a crane.
Oh, so it was too big to be motorized. So it was like a
I
centerpiece.
thought the Brontosaurus was motorized, though. For some reason, or was that the Stegosaurus that was motorized?
They were all motorized, maybe except that one. That one might have been the central.
I do
playset.
remember it because that thing was enormous.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It was cool. Those, I didn't like the cartoon, but the toys were really cool in that line. That was a very cool line of toys.
Yeah.
And it was versatile.
Yeah.
You know, you could use a lot of different action figures for it.
Right. Yeah, because Winter Dinosaur's not usable with other.
Yeah,
action figures,
exactly. Right.
It would have been hard to work them into my plots, I think.
For you, I don't know.
No,
you
no,
would-
they're-
I have a feeling you would have found a way.
They're digging the pit. They're digging the pit, right? And they dig too far, and then it comes out of the ground.
That's a
Yeah.
good point, yeah.
And
Oh my
everything
God!
changes.
It's the beasts.
No, I was fixing to say the fact that Melinda was not into Inhumanoids escapes
I just
me
didn't-
because that's right up her alley.
Back in
my
the
mind.
80s, I'm telling you, girls, at least I never even considered that I could get boys' toys. So, like Star Wars, even though I loved Star Wars and I loved the movies, it never occurred to me that I could walk over to the boys' aisle and buy a Star Wars toy
No, I get
because
that.
it
You're
was
not
like
wrong.
not for me. It was so weird and taboo.
There was some weird
You
kind of
guys
troll.
probably felt the same way about
Yes.
going into the girls'
Oh,
toy
yes.
aisle.
Oh,
So,
yes.
you know, it doesn't mean like I know you went over to get the She-Ra doll that time, but I mean,
It's a figure.
whatever. It's a doll. She got brushable hair.
She-Ra.
I'm just saying,
needed
like,
He-Man's sister.
It
We
it
needed
was
He-Man's sister.
it was
Yes.
memorable enough to you because it was
Right.
creepy and you didn't go down there. So like my cousin would bring over his toys every Sunday and we would like play and I would get to kind of play with those things then.
Mhm.
But it never occurred to me that I was like allowed to have them myself. I don't know why. It was just sort of this unspoken thing.
So why isn't She-Ra with?
She's with Hordak. She's fighting Hordak's people on the next shelf right there.
Okay.
Brian
There's a plan. There's a rhyme and a reason.
Brian says, late
Nope.
tuning in and sorry if this has been asked before, but what is the playset you most wanted that never got made?
Everyone can answer this question for me. Ready?
I have no idea.
Whoa, wait. The
Cloud City.
Cloud
Yes.
City, Bespin playset. That's the one for me. What about you?
I was
one
just
that never got made.
Thundar for me. I think there are a lot of great possibilities there with like all of the cool backdrops and stuff like that. I would have loved Thundar toys regardless.
which
I
one.
almost feel like I would have like broken over into the boys' toy aisle to get that if that had been a thing.
The Cobra Helicarrier.
Mm.
That would have been awesome.
Aaron,
I don't know. It'd probably be something from Max Headroom,
Smashing Pumpkins,
like the play set.
the playset.
What is it? A
What?
stage?
Did they have?
It's a
Max
giant
Headroom?
pumpkin.
Yeah, and they're all in there.
Yeah.
You
And
got
they're
These
trying
two
you
to-
got Darcy,
both just
James
They
Eha.
both mentioned playsets for toy lines that don't exist.
Well, I mean, they said never made. so
I
guess
know
that-
they
Yeah,
said
I
never
feel like
made,
I'm
but then
Never
following
made.
yeah, but it's
following
like, but
that.
also the toys have to be made right along with it. I think there's two ways to answer that question. There's one playsets.
Oh,
for toy-
your way and the wrong
Yeah,
way?
I feel like that's where this
Oh.
is going right now. Sorry, we don't have the right imagination for you, Michael.
There's no wrong way. It's my way and the Dreamland way. That's the. You know what I'd really like a playset for? I'd
We
really like a
think
playset
out-
for the Watergate trials. Because I really
Oh my
think-
god!
That's a really great idea.
I
Michael.
already said Barbie, like FBI, some sort of like crime scene.
Well, then we're gonna
something.
go find you the Scully. And
You could
Mulder.
have luminol
Barbies.
as a little thing that Barbie can go in and. Okay, and then it would like glow. You glow in the dark. You turn off your lights in your bedroom, and oh, I can see the blood spatter. You guys, This would be amazing.
Can you see all
Why
the
is your teeth glowing green?
Melinda's like, oh,
Anyways,
That would have been great.
oh dear.
hopefully we answered your question,
Oh,
Brian.
dear.
Peter says, "What kind of Lego sets did RetroBlasting have?" I just had plain Legos. They weren't sets. They were
I
just
had the
you make
Technics.
your own.
I had the Technics, which was a
Squares.
90s thing where you could make the actual cars with the rack and pinion steering. It was all very
Oh,
functional.
yeah.
That's
Those
cool.
were a lot of fun, but it was a
Um,
90s thing.
If you watch my Lego feature video, you will see and hear me say all of the childhood Lego sets I had.
Yeah, but that doesn't
Just pick
answer
one.
what these guys.
This
all
is a
had.
live stream.
Yeah, pick one of those that you.
What was your favorite one?
My favorite one was
Favorite Lego set?
it was one of those space sets. I mean, I didn't have the one I really wanted, which was the big Star Destroyer thing with the cargo bay on the back. I got that
Oh
later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, what about you?
I was in Legos very early 80s, so the only thing
Yeah.
that really existed back then was the towns.
The
like
generic kind of stuff. Yeah.
There was trucks and little gas station. I was always obsessed with the
I
Lego
never
gas
had
station, but never got it. So,
So
I just got a big bin of just
well,
Legos.
I had that too.
That's
like
what I
a
was gonna
big
they
say.
did
tub.
have the sets.
Big
too,
plastic
yeah.
tub.
When I was a kid and I would go to daycare, that was like where I got the most of my exposure to things like Lego. So they would have donated stuff. So it would be giant bins with the little
Yep.
green,
Yeah.
baseboards.
Yeah.
And we would build these crazy fortifications and just make whatever.
That's what
we
I would do.
wanted,
That's what I would do.
out of those, like the little macaroni curved ones.
I didn't even know these things existed until I met you, that there were like kits where you built it like
I think that came later when
I
they
didn't
started
even-
licensing more and
Me
more.
and Michael want, if we ever got into Legos, and let's just say we decided to do one of the insane custom Lego places, like I have mad respect
those are cool.
for those giant, like the lady who did
Rivendell.
Rivendell.
Lord of the Rings stuff.
Rivendell
Oh my
Festival.
god, so
she
cool.
was brilliant with that Rivendell.
Amazing.
The dude who did the Hoth battle scene, me and Michael said if we ever did it, we were going to do one that actually opens and closes, but true to the minifig size, we would do a Starship Enterprise.
Oh,
And that would actually open up and
Right.
have the divided decks
Yes.
and elevators
Yeah.
and everything. Not that we're ever going to do that because that would be more than the DeLorean costs to do it.
and we'd be fighting until we were in our 70s over which Enterprise we were going to do.
It would
This
be the
is
D.
true.
No, it would be the refit.
That's
The
right.
D.
The only Enterprise.
The refit.
Do them
It's only
both. Do
Enterprise.
them both, and then like
Nope.
No, they have to be minifig scale, so
Just
we
the
can only do
refit.
The
one.
D would be much bigger.
The D is a very large.
It's a huge ship.
It's a large.
Yeah, and
almost
I'd be
double
working
D.
on something when I. Really?
Alabama.
Alabama. Alabama.
Wicked Person says best gimmick built into a playset.
That's
Uh,
a
That's
good
a
question.
great
Ooh,
question.
That's a good one.
Great question.
Barbies. Because everything was branded. Remember, like they branded Coke cans.
That's true.
Oh, they actually licensed.
And- yes,
they
they
had
licensed
the
the
McDonald's
logos.
thing, and like they literally had like you built your own
Burger.
patties. Like you had
Yeah.
like the buns and the lettuce and the burger, and it was all separate, and you built it, and it had the
To
little
all be patty
styrofoam
special sauce,
lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Oh, get out of
You
my
had
head.
that. but,
Yep.
but they had the logos, but not just that, but even in the like the Barbie van they had Pepsi cans and Coke cans. I mean, they had, and it was the actual logos,
Yep.
which in the 80s that was a big deal, having
Yeah.
the actual.
Especially during the Cola Wars. Yeah.
I think the two
The
winners
Cola Wars.
for like
was.
Just feel like
a
an old
boys
grizzled.
a boys toy
Remember the Cola
playset.
Wars?
I'd say the two winners for best gimmick are the Mask Boulder Hill because it transformed into a whole nother thing. And then I also really loved
That was
the
good.
Fortress of Fangs from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons because it was just this bevy of traps and
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
that is good.
all the
yeah.
pitfalls and the trap doors and the lava pits and the falling axes and the spike walls and I mean it really is for
Aren't
its
there a
size.
good number of features in the
Oh, yeah, in the-
Filmation?
Yeah, but they're
Ghostbusters?
not Fortress of Fangs
Right.
features. They're like ooh spooky.
Yeah, because I mean, we
It's
did
like,
like, at least from
I
a
like-
boy's perspective, gimmicks were a big deal.
Yeah.
like
Sure.
for because I was sold on Snake Mountain with the door and the bridge and the microphone, and then when I
Yeah.
got it and saw it, I was like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
I remember having that reaction to it as well because I
Right?
was so excited. I loved He-Man toys and I loved
Yeah.
the show.
Oh,
And
yeah.
again, it never occurred to me that I could just get the toys myself. But like my cousin would have, and I remember the year he got that for Christmas, and he brought it over to my grandmother's house like on Christmas Day, and we're all sitting there, and I'm like, oh.
It kind of sucks.
Like, because you'd seen the ads like on TV, and you're just like, that looks so amazing.
It does. Well, and then you realize that the scale is so
Yeah, the
completely
scale
wrong.
really
Like
was.
the bridge,
You're
you're
thinking
like,
it's gonna
"What? I
be
can't fit
like
through the
as
cave?"
big as it's not.
Yeah.
It's like half the size.
But it worked great for GI Joes.
Yes.
It worked wonderful for.
Oh,
G.I.
well, that's a
Joes.
good point.
Yeah,
That's
that's a good
So-
point.
Okay. I feel like I skipped past a whole bunch of stuff. All right. World Made of Cardboard says if a playset could serve double duty, it would be great. Years ago, I saw a toy box in the shape of a baseball. Imagine the Death Star 2 as a toy box with play levels on the back in the
Ooh.
unfinished area.
That would have been pretty darn cool.
Yeah, that would have been neat. I mean, the Lego Death Star kind of achieved
Yeah.
that. The big Lego Death Star
Yep.
where you can play on both sides, and one side is like the original Death Star, and the other side's Return of the Jedi or something like that.
That's a great idea, though. But that
Yeah.
that would have been a great. I do remember that thing because it was plastic and you twisted the lid off the top.
yeah.
They had a football version and
Earlier in the
volleyball.
stream, Michael Johnson said, I would make my own play sets out of cardboard and paper mache. Now that
That takes it up a
is
level.
cool.
That
That
does
is
doing the
taking it
paper
up a
mache.
notch. You know,
Dedication.
that's like Nancy at the beginning of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where she's building her house from the first movie. And I always thought that was such a great idea. She had a cardboard box and she cut the holes out, and then she took and like she used popsicle sticks for like the shingles on top of, or the boards on the side of the house. You can do all
You
kinds of
guys
cool
laugh.
stuff.
My mom had this thick book that was back from the 60s that was all about how to turn like toilet paper rolls and all kinds of things into like, you know, ornate towers that like from the medieval times. But it had a lot of step-by-step instructions to do things like take popsicle sticks and cut them and do all those different kind of painting things. And I would always pull it out and start to do stuff like that, but never achieve the results that were in the pictures.
Well, sure.
Which was very depressing, but that did get me more thinking in terms of, hey, yeah, give me a shoebox and I'll make something for my G.I. Joe or my He-Man figure to play in. Or a
Wildstar-
vehicle or something.
Wildstar Studio said, I burned a Minmay figure from Robotech at the stake. That seems totally valid.
Well,
God, I hate Minmay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what all that was until I sat down and started watching those episodes, and I think I messaged you guys and was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
all
bad, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Raymond says, in my opinion, the Tantive 4 was one of the biggest missed opportunities for a toy playset vehicle for the vintage Star Wars figure line, as evidenced by the hall that leads to nowhere that Hasbro is trying to pawn off.
Yeah, and
The
also,
Mobius Hall.
and also the fact that they almost made a Blockade Runner right at the end. It was going to be a 1986 release.
That would have been
and
really.
they didn't make it.
And that seemed like it could have been.
Mhm.
Imagine if they had done one the flag size.
Yeah. But see, then
Really
everyone
cool.
would have been asking, well, why didn't you do the Star Destroyer flag size? Because that would have been the more
It's
deserving
still wrong. The flag size would be better scale, I think.
for the Blockade Runner.
Yeah.
No one in the toy industry back then cared about scale. Look at this.
Well,
No.
Look at it.
I
No.
didn't even
Look
know.
at
I
it.
didn't even know it
You
existed.
look at it.
Like what
Look
the?
at-
Let me look at the sticker behind how stupid the sticker is.
I know. Look this in the eyes and tell me. that
Michael
it's-
Schaefer says Melinda wants a Jerry Orbach action figure, and he is right. I do, because you could not only play like CSI, that kind of stuff with that
Law and Order.
Law and Order, whatever. I never watched that show, but I always wanted to.
I'm sure he
But
was a crime scene
also,
investigator, Michael.
You could play Dirty Dancing because he's the dad.
Oh yeah.
And I would
that's
love
true.
to get Baby's dress from like the last scene.
Nobody puts Melinda in the corner.
No, I was going to say, nobody put She-Ra in the
I got
corner.
put in the corner a lot. I can promise you.
What did you have to, like, did you have to count? Like, I remember sometimes I'd be given tasks.
Nope.
Well, this is getting awkward.
Nope. They would just put me there for like until they stopped being mad at me.
Until
Sometimes they would
stopped
forget I
being
was
mad at
there.
you. Like, there was always like an end date.
We'll tell you when we're done being mad at you. You stand there and think about what you've done. I remember one time
Michael just got punished by nuns.
in preschool, I got in trouble. I'll tell it later. I'll tell it in the after show.
Oh really?
Yeah.
This is another one I gotta have.
Robert says, love your Dragon Con panel on classic playsets. Do you think we'll ever see a resurgence of toy playsets again?
Not if the big toy companies keep making excuses about, size and price and all that kind of stuff. Because in the Playmobil Ghostbusters video we did a few months ago, we proved that toy companies that want to make playsets can still make playsets at an affordable price with all kinds of cool stuff in them. Hasbro and Mattel less so, because Mattel is coming out with a new Castle Grayskull, which I'm curious to see. But Hasbro has basically abandoned that. And
Well, you know
I
what would
did
be a
love
good
that.
idea? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, remember that cool dragon toy that you got?
that's also Mattel. That's
Right,
not
but
Hasbro.
I didn't say it was Hasbro. I'm saying that was a cool playset. And to go back to the question about cool playset features, if you're talking modern stuff, I think that was one
That
of the
one
coolest
is
playsets
really
I've ever
cool.
seen, because it had that ability to sense, like you would buy stuff that would go with it, like figures or the dragons or whatever, and as you get it close to it, it senses it, and everyone starts yelling, "Oh my
Yes.
God, there's a dragon!" It's pretty
The
cool. Like
pinnacle of playsets.
that's pretty
That is
cool,
pretty
and
cool
it
idea.
had a lot of cool play features without that as well. So
Well, I would think if I was Hasbro and Tim was running the show, I would hope 3D printing would get a little better, because I have a 3D printer and I suck at it. But the stuff people are 3D printing themselves, like Aaron's gotten really good at 3D printing.
But I haven't in a while. Like I haven't done much. with
Right.
it for-
But if I was Hasbro, I would get these patterns and everything down now and sell them on their website
Yes.
to parents who have 3D printers
Yep.
and say this is a licensed Hasbro pattern.
I will say this, because there,
mean,
as you know, there is a debate raging about producing toys on your own or buying things that have been printed and things like that. This is, I think, aside from all of that, one of the things that I think would help would be if there was a better infrastructure for licensing and selling the rights to reproduce some of
Yes.
these things in very specific ways. So I think
well, and
you're
I'm
right.
thinking of things that didn't ever exist, though. Like the guy, you posted a picture in Patreon of that display for the first.
So it's not a pattern for a repro item. It's actually a pattern for something that
never
would
got
only
produced.
exist if it had been 3D
It
printed.
looked like a section of the Death Star hallway with the doors. I mean, it was awesome. I don't know who did it, but I was like, if they were smart, they would do things like that, like you said, and just license these patterns and have them for sale and have patterns. Because anybody who 3D prints knows you get good patterns that print really easy and work really well. And then there's stuff that's really cool. You're like, if I could make that print, it's awesome. And you can't get it to print no matter how many times you try.
Well, you can always tell
I mean,
who the computer architect kind of people are, the people who
Right.
are good at CAD. Their stuff will just sort of be correctly laid out in the print files. But I do kind of find an interest in that idea. If they were licensing and selling things that were not ever made as an actual product,
exactly.
the only reason they would exist as a printed form is because
Yes.
it came from that licensed
Yes.
sale. That would be an interesting way to get around some of that debate amongst the fans.
Yeah.
So, real quick, to go back to unmade toys, playsets, whatever, something that I think would be really awesome to have as a series of playsets and toys and everything would be Lord of the Rings. You could almost, instead of making them out of plastic, though, it would be really cool to make them out of like a balsa wood or something like that could like flat pack and then like slot together. You could
Yeah.
build like your Rivendell, you could have your Lothlorien, you could have all the different castles.
That would lend itself well to the elven
And then,
themed areas.
if it flat packed it, you could like slide them apart and like pack them away under your bed or whatever. You have all the like figures that go with them, and they can go on voyages and journeys.
think
And
that's a
you could
great
have
idea,
a cool
too.
dragon
Definitely.
in there with like the Hobbit,
Uh-huh.
just all kinds of cool stuff. And I'm always surprised that didn't get made, and yet not surprised, just because there wasn't anything really good in terms of Lord of the Rings other
There
than
were, I found that there wasn't a lot of good fantasy. I mean, like Michael said, you had the Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons is probably the closest.
But I mean,
I gotta ask,
You
was
really
there
didn't have
anything
anything
interesting from Willow? Because I felt like that world had a very interesting.
It had a terrible toy line.
That's what I
Yeah.
was there because I don't see a playset. Was there ever a castle?
It
No.
looks
or
it looks
anything?
X-rated, the toy line, really.
What are you talking about?
I'm not going to explain it. Wicked Person says
You're looking at the Dragon Rider. Oh, you're talking about the Aborsis dragon. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, we'll just move
you can
along.
just pull it up and look at it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Wicked Person says, why isn't there a Playmobil Dexter crime scene playset? That's a great question. I would.
Dexter.
It comes with trash bags. Tape them to the wall.
oh gosh. Anyway,
Michael,
Well, he was a blood splatter expert, right? So
well, that's how he. If you haven't seen the show, you're not going to get it. Those of you who've seen the show know what I'm talking about.
I think
Michael
I
Hinkson
just said what
says,
you need.
Michael, your thoughts on the Playmates Star Trek Next Gen Enterprise D bridge engineering and transporter playsets?
It was the beginning of a great idea that they failed to implement on, because they built that playset, they designed it so that eventually other modular rooms would attach onto it through. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, I'm so
Jesus.
sorry. Pardon me.
Oh
You
my
always get like that when
God.
you eat a moon pie, Michael.
It would attach onto it through the doorways. And when they finally did make another playset that utilized that attachment point, it was the engineering playset, which that's not a problem. The problem was they didn't even try to make the flooring conform to the curve of the bridge playset. So it's just like this, it's like this curvature of the bridge playset and then this hard angle that just gets clipped to it. And it's like, wow, guys, that is some weak sauce right there. It was
lazy.
Yeah, it was super lazy.
Valo Sweets Toys and Collectibles says Dino Riders had the motorized. Is it Diplodocus or Diplodocus? I don't know. The Brontosaurus was much larger and not motorized.
Okay. Okay. I think those two are fairly easy to get confused. One has the ridge crest, and one Brontosaurus doesn't.
It does not. No.
I hate this interface so much.
Is there a
you
better
guys.
interface?
Not really.
Nope, not
Okay,
not
well,
yet.
Just thought
Not
I'd-
unless you're on that computer over there.
Salvador says, I see Rocky with the Migo Star Trek, Reese's, watermelon, Red Bull, Twizzlers, RC, all sorts of great snacks. Grimaces at his yogurt cup. Lucky.
Sorry, Sal.
Yeah, they didn't have any of my usual Red Bull at the apothecary that I stop at before I get here.
Yeah, I don't know why you're drinking
Burnings,
watermelon.
apothecaries.
Yeah.
What is this stream?
It is ye old live stream. I'm having my tincture of watermelon, Michael.
A World Made of Cardboard says, I just did a quick calculation. A Lego minifigure Enterprise D would be 330 feet long.
They did the
Doesn't
math.
surprise me.
They did the math.
Doesn't surprise. I mean, that's less than this.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's
You're saying that this to there is
1530.
330 feet.
no.
All right, get the tape measure out.
I'm
Let's
actually
do this.
tempted.
There's no way.
That's,
tempted.
Between now and the live show, we've got to work that out.
Tempted.
I feel like it's like 100.
I'm sorry, I have the
Cannot-
after show.
You cannot make
I'm
a
pretty sure it's
fully-
100, maybe
You
110.
cannot make a fully minifig scale Enterprise D. That's pointless. It would be just a bunch of redundant rooms.
It would collapse under its own
It would
weight.
collapse under its own weight. The Enterprise D already has hydrocephalus anyway. So
Robert Hartley says,
It separates.
action figure nightmares. I had several of my Star Wars figures destroyed by our friendly lawn service when I forgot to bring them back inside after playing with them in the yard. I never did that again.
well, Robert, you sound like Fred Savage from The Boy Who Could Fly, who was into G.I. Joes and buried them out in the backyard. And then there was a thunderstorm, and he had to run outside because he forgot that they were out there and dig them up out of the mud.
You had to have Duke. He
That's
was
right.
freaking out about Duke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wicked Person says, Aaron, old enough to have used Star Wars activity books to make TIE fighters from 2 coffee cups and 2 paper plates, gum machine, bubble, cockpit, window.
Wow. So he used a gumball machine.
I can say I've built stuff like that, and I spent a lot of time because I got into origami when I was a kid, working out how to make the folds to do the 2 sides of the TIE fighters, because that just seemed like a really easy thing to make when you're like stuck in a doctor's office waiting for your parents to go
He
out.
actually does some pretty interesting origami. Like I said, Aaron's pretty good at that.
Yeah, like most things, I get to where I can figure something out, and then I move on to another obsession. So I could go pick it back up though.
Lio Convoy says, Super 7 just announced a Thunder Tank. My rage is unending. Also, as a Thundercats fan, I have to admit that the original Cats lair wasn't that good.
It's just a big awkward facade. And Jesse, I see a question here. How do I feel about the lack of playsets for the Mattel Jurassic World toy lines? It's to be expected. They just aren't making playsets anymore, Mattel or Hasbro really. So we'll see how Castle Grayskull does, and then maybe that'll prompt them to do a Jurassic Park playset. And back to what Lio Convoy was saying, yeah, Super 7, from what a lot of people are telling me in the last few weeks in the wake of the NECA video, Super 7 has just as many issues as NECA does, just in different areas, which is a shame because those are the 2 biggest players
In the show
that could compete with Hasbro and Mattel, not including Playmates, of course.
Now I'm trying to figure out how a company could do it like right, because you see example after example. Is everybody just following the same playbook of which corners to cut? or
Yeah, I think they're pandering to adult collectors, and they're saying, well,
don't take
adult-
it out of the box, keep it in a safe place.
Yeah, they
kind
just
of
want
thing.
6-inch figures,
Yeah.
like they did
That are as detailed and like you've even said in your video, that are artistically very appealing in many cases.
right.
I still think that the Back to the Future one has a case of diaper butt, but that's just me.
Yeah, diaper crotch.
So-
Just a little awkward when you're like, oh.
A World Made of Cardboard says some Imaginext playsets are cool and big. That's like what I was talking about with the castle and the dragon. That when you
And
move
they
in
had a lot of
close.
functions too.
Yeah, the really cool stuff
the
from
trap
Imaginext.
doors.
But I think
and the pits
Imaginext
and-
product line has kind of dropped off over the
Yeah, I
last
don't
few
think
even.
it
I don't even know
has,
if I've
but-
seen it in a while.
But
Yeah.
they did some really cool stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both branded and not. Benjamin Tarr says, just wanted to say thanks for doing this topic. I got super excited when I saw it yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Michael Hinkson says Tim, 330 feet is the length of a football field. And then A World Made of Cardboard says 330 feet is longer than a football field. Yeah. So it's a lot. I don't
That
know.
I would have to go back and think about that because I mean
That went poorly.
the Enterprise D held a little over like 1,042 people.
I'm not buying 1,000 minifigs.
Well, I mean,
That movie says
You
the
might
only
already have them.
the only
sorry.
Matt Movie says the only playset I had was Fisher Price's Hero Rescues command boat, but I used it for every toy I had.
Okay.
I've
Yeah,
never heard of that.
The Fisher Price Rescue Heroes were sort of the descendant of the adventure people, and so they had like some generic, versatile, vehicles that could probably be adapted to different lines. Tim, you look like you've been hit by a horse tranquilizer. What?
I'm
just
trying to do the math in my head now.
happened? Okay.
Because 300 feet sounds way too wrong for a minifig, and I mean that's like if it was a football field, that's like Starbase size.
That's how stupidly big that ship is, which is why
It's not that stupid.
the refit is superior.
The D is
I'm
an
gonna let
awesome
them-
ship. I don't even want to hear it. And it
You
would
wanna arm wrestle?
own
They got to get through this. Nah,
in a fight.
you kick my
If it
butt.
wasn't for
arm
the
wrestling,
refit,
what you
there never
talking
would be a
about?
D.
I think
I
so.
don't
Because
know.
there never would be a next
I
generation
still
show.
love. I love the refit.
I think they're
I
gonna be
do.
okay.
I love the original Enterprise. I don't hate it.
I
My
lo-
favorite in the
I
line is
like
the
the D just fine, but it doesn't suit itself
I
to a
like the
massive
D
Lego
just fine.
project.
I heard that
because
too.
of
There's
the
your
massive
ringtone,
size.
folks.
I
There's
feel
your
like that's gonna get
ringtone.
clipped out.
I
Sorry, we're
like the
just
D
enjoying
just
ourselves
fine.
while you guys
Anyway, Prince Adam Motu, thank you for the super chat. He doesn't have anything to ask. He's just very kind.
Yeah, thank you.
Mark C says, favorite playset growing up was the Death Star playset. Michael's videos watching him refurb one brought back great memories.
That was the one that I got at a garage sale in 1988 for $2.
Wow.
Yeah,
You were a bargaining fool.
but it was a wreck then.
No, I
and then
know.
I restored it. So
Are you going to do any Wahlberg today? Because you didn't last time, remember?
Oh, and it
went
hurt.
a whole day.
Which, by the way, I sent Michael the video, if everybody saw it, on Facebook of Wahlberg's A Day in His Life, and it was...
it's so regimented.
I
It's
was like,
It's
wow.
It's his workout routine.
yeah, but
So-
the workout routine proves he has no soul. Like,
Yeah, but did you see his arms? Like, do you need a
do you
soul?
even lift, bro?
He makes hamburgers
he's
now.
always like, oh, family's important in that video. It's like family's important.
Say it like him though.
Oh, like family's important. You gotta hang out with your family, but you gotta devote, out of those 24 hours, you gotta devote 22 of them to yourself because you're the most important thing ever. Because it's all about me, bro. It's
Your
all about
abs.
me.
Your abs are super important.
I'm
So
guessing
it's-
he never
it's a-
sleeps. He
it's a
just works out and
very-
visits with family.
It's
Yes.
a very
Wow.
narcissistic kind of thing. It's
He's
like,
an actor. Like, that is
I
his
know,
job, is
I'm
to look
just-
like that. I'm saying no normal human can do that because the rest of us have other jobs where we, it's going to be weird when you zoom into your, you
dude,
know,
you gotta make money so
you're
that you can pay for the
meeting
movie
and you're,
tickets
like,
to come see
totally
me on
lifting.
screen. You don't
You're-
have time to work out like
Look,
me.
look at these abs.
you're
Look
like
at these arms.
meeting with the C-suite folks and that you turn your camera on and you're like, do you guys even lift, bro?
Promoted instantly. You're going places.
A World Made of Cardboard says the Enterprise D is about a 1/4 mile in length.
That's just excessive. I mean, that's
That's a quarter
That's-
mile. It doesn't have to travel to
That
be
guy's
somewhere.
that
Michael.
guy's compensating for something.
an FU Starfleet move. It's like, hey,
Well, I mean,
check out my ride.
if you
Like,
could do
That's
it.
like the minivan of.
It's not a minivan.
I'm saying it's when vehicles get so big that they're just not cool anymore.
Converse.
No, that's the Enterprise J.
I'm
Is that a
saying
thing?
Yes.
any of those things, like SUVs, they're not cool. I know you guys probably, some of you think they are, but they're not. Like it's
Hot takes from Melinda
it's a
today.
mom mobile. It's a soccer mom mobile.
Woo, hot takes.
Not all of them.
All of them.
Well, the
Nah.
Enterprise
All
D
of
is,
them.
does have carpeted floors and carries children,
Look,
so it is
You know
it is
what?
it is the Plymouth
No.
Voyager of Star Trek. It even has the faux wood paneling along the sides, sliding door, hood ornament.
A psychologist on the
Doesn't have a
bridge.
foot ornament.
All right.
Reminded
Gamer
me.
X says, "What features make for the most or best playability in a playset? What classic sets?"
Hit that mark the best.
Okay.
I think twists and turns, things you can do to sort of switch it up, like trapdoors,
Yes.
I-
Trapdoors
yeah.
were big.
Elevators.
elevators.
Elevators, trapdoors. I love chutes. Like where
Stairs.
characters can.
I
fly
like
down
ladders.
chutes.
You put them together, you got to win.
And at the end is a dungeon waiting to tie
Look
you
at
up,
that
bury you
face.
alive.
Oh my god, that
but-
would be great.
That's what I said. You know what I didn't have? I loved the Star Wars minifigures, the little metal ones,
Micros.
the micros. I wanted the Bespin that did
Mm-hmm.
the little, solo carbonite.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool feature. I
I like
wanted
a
so
good
bad.
dungeon.
Yeah, that I've played with, and I love the sliding doors on
A
that
good
one.
dungeon.
You know,
That was a cool.
doorways are great. Chutes that they go through to access other areas are great. I loved things like on the Fisher Price Castle when we were kids. Not any the old late 70s castle where it had like you went down the chute into sort of a dungeon, but then there was a
Yes.
grate where you could escape through the moat. I love
And it had secret passages.
Secret
It
passages,
had
that's what I was trying to
secret
Ooh, that's a good one. Secret passages.
passages.
That
Yeah,
was always
Oh
cool.
yeah. that's
breakaway
true.
walls were always fun.
Secret passages that lead into the dungeon.
I don't.
Because there's
I think
only
you're right.
one person on this table that's going into a dungeon. The rest of us
I
are getting
gotta,
out
I
of
gotta
there.
break people out somehow. I'm here to save people. Monkey Boy says, "For the sick Wahlberg, bro."
Sick.
I gotta devote most of my day to me. And God.
What kind of play set would Wahlberg have?
Like if you had a Wahlberg figure.
It would have to be a gym, I guess.
Wotosh says,
Yeah.
"What? No love for rickety bridges?"
Rickety Brothers.
Rickety bridges are good.
That was my name in the bluegrass band that I used to play. They called me old Rickety Bridges.
I
Aaron
can see
Rickety
that.
Bridge
Yeah.
Harper.
Yeah, I just played
Saturday
the
Morning Fan
upright
says,
bass.
"What do you think is the worst playset?"
The lawnmower that I had to
I'd
push
say
around the
Snake
yard.
Mountain's got to be up there.
It is.
Snake Mountain's a big disappointment, but at least
Um.
it was, durable.
Yeah.
Um, I would say my least favorite playset up here
Ewoks.
so far is that Crystar Crystal Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty bad.
It's super overrated too.
Yeah, it's like you know what?
Your heart beats and it
gonna
will
say
fall
the
over.
GoBots
Like,
was
it's
really disappointing. You would
super-
think it
Scary
was
that
really
it's up
cool,
there.
but I was kind of
Right.
disappointed.
Yeah, the GoBots one's pretty
Yeah,
disappointing.
it was pretty
The
disappointing.
one I really want to see firsthand, even though I know it'll be fragile, but I love the concept behind it, is the Karate Kid Attack Alley. Because
It had a lot of gimmicks.
the premise of
Yeah.
it is Daniel and Mr. Miyagi just are in an Asian marketplace and get attacked by like 50 ninjas. And I'm like, I wish that had happened in one of those movies. I want to see that. I want to see that play set. So
But
Well,
you
this
wanna-
Indiana Jones thing has a lot of shortcomings, which you've talked about because it's so specific.
yeah.
It doesn't really give you room to, it seems like they could have picked other scenes from that movie that were a little bit
I love
more
the detail.
versatile.
I
Yeah,
love
the
detail.
detail's beautiful, and I get why they did it
It's
because it
more
was
of
a
like a-
location.
Yeah, but it's more
But
of like you
it's
would
more
just
of a
sit it on
scene.
a scene.
Yeah.
You just sit it there and
Whereas if you'd had like the airplane bit where he's on
Yeah.
the
or like
tarmac,
a
or-
shoot where you like roll a boulder down. Like how cool would that have been? Like,
Well, the coolest play set we all
What are you doing,
didn't
rolling
know
a
about
boulder?
is Starcom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starcom, like I had one Starcom toy, which was the little white shuttle
Uh-huh.
that would fit into the back of the big one, but you could buy it separately.
Right.
And it seemed horrible because that was the only one I was like, I'm never buying it. I'm never asking for one other one of these. But then when I got exposed to what you had in your collection, the
Airlock.
airlocks and the fact that it's all magnets and the people will move and all
Uh-huh.
it's all winded
Yes.
power, so you didn't have to worry about batteries.
Mhm.
I mean, I was like, man, this was the coolest toy
Okay.
I never knew about.
I got a question. Help me out here. Did they make a Sandcrawler playset for the Jawas?
They just
did. It's
They
the
just have
cardboard.
the
Just the
cardboard
cardboard
one,
one?
and then
Yeah.
they have the motorized.
I would have liked to have seen one that was like bigger and more of the kind of thing that like hinged, you could open it up, because I was always fascinated by all the places in it that they seemed to find.
Well, that one right there, the one on the far left, is the motorized stand crawler, and it does open up. But the
Right.
thing about it is that it's so out of scale. You
Yeah,
don't
so
get
like
the
I would
sense
play
of-
things like Jedi Knight, and I think it was the Jedi Academy. There's a mission where you have to go get into one of
Well,
those things.
don't worry. It was in the Mandalorian.
I know, I saw that scene as well.
And HasLab will be funding one soon, I'm sure. So-
Yeah, which I'm
Tim
not
Hay
gonna get
says
that.
Skeksis Dark Crystal Castle. How cool would that be?
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Oh, that would have
that would have
very
been really cool. It's
Yeah.
You were
unfortunate we
absolutely
didn't get a
right.
lot of toys for that because I
Yeah.
would have gotten those.
As in zero.
Kieran Ball says we need a Murder by Death or Clue movie playset. That would actually be kind of
The
interesting.
Clue
too.
would have been
Clue
cool,
would have
'cause I
been fun.
love-
All the secret passageways.
Oh, I
What
loved
if
that
the-
movie when I was little. I
What
thought
if
that
the
was
Clue
funny.
play set was actually a game board too? Like you could play Clue,
Oh, smart.
right?
It could
Yeah.
look similar to the Filmation
Burr, burr,
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's not the time for that. You just
it is.
wasted a very good
It is.
one. You
No,
did very well
that
with
was a
it,
good
but
one.
it's not the right time for that. I take it back.
Mark C says, I had
Wait a
the
minute.
Star Wars Ion Canon Micro Series playset. It looked cool, but was
Yes.
a bit overrated.
Yeah, because it's really just a big iceberg with a cannon on top. There's not a lot. There's literally nothing going on in the back. Like it's got a door, and that's about it. So
Although
Dan-
the Millennium Falcon micro is...
Millennium Falcon micro is great.
Man, that thing is
Yeah, but
crazy cool.
yeah, it's very cool. But
Dan Hackley says, someone please make an Orca playset from Jaws. LOL. Keep up the good work, guys and gals.
well, that's a vehicle. It's not really a playset. That's a vehicle. But I
Well,
get
no, it could be a play set. You know, like have what's his name get bitten in half by Jaws when he's
It
eating
would
the
never
back of the-
quite be big enough.
But it would look every bit as convincing as the shark in the movie.
I think what would be better is if
There you
if you
go.
build on your idea.
There it is.
Instead of
Nicely
inviting
done.
Quint
Yeah.
in half, if he sort of secured Quint to the back of the ship and then tried him for witchcraft, and then Jaws.
You've
is
got
like-
my attention.
And then Jaws
She's
is
like,
like,
I heard witchcraft.
"You will burn for your heresy." And then Quint is like, "I'm not gonna take any, guff off a fish." And then Jaws is like, and he's like,
It's a
"Ah."
little weird.
He don't take guff off no fish.
Willie Woodward
That's
says,
a little weird for you.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Willie Woodward says, to be honest, the indie movies were weak with toy ideas.
They were.
Yeah.
They were. They did. Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was the superior toy line between Star Wars and Kenner as far as under the Kenner brand as far as quality, but it clearly didn't get the attention at the company that it needed to excel. Also, you have to remember that Indiana Jones was the one headlining hero of the story, whereas in Star Wars, it's like, I'd love to, play with Boba Fett. I'd love to play with Luke and Han,
Yeah.
and I'd love to play with Leia, and sometimes I want to just be an assassin droid, and sometimes I want to be Darth Vader, and nobody wants to be Belloc. Belloc's just a dude in suit pants. Like that's it.
Dodge Transformer 84 says, how about a Goonies playset? Well, I mean, you could have like,
Up there, it's their
They-
time.
they had like several things that you could put if you had all of them worked in somehow.
But-
So like the shipwreck thing, and then the little things that people could like get
Yeah.
put down.
But is the
chutes.
shipwreck itself, since the boat still floats at the end,
A
is
vehicle.
that a vehicle that you have to add to the playset later? Like, do they sell the pirate ship
I feel
separate
like
from?
the
I would
idea
like
is
them to
cool. The
sell Pirate
implementation,
Cove, and then you could buy the boat.
the
and add it.
implementation
Yeah.
would
I'll
have
get
been
them both.
crap.
And the
at the same
cove
time.
is connected to the tunnels, which are connected to
cove is
the
connected to
bone,
the
the bone piano.
tunnel.
which are
That went through
connected-
my
That would be a
too.
Lego project.
Yes.
That would be a
Masters-
good Lego project.
Master Son 42 says, please explain why the GoBots vehicle playset was bad. I liked it, thought it was good scale. Wish they would have kept it horizontal and not vertical.
Well, that's
Well,
what-
that's
Mhm.
I think you answered my question for
Nailed
me
it.
there. Is if it had been horizontal instead of vertical, because I just that was my problem. Is all you had is essentially just a vehicle that opened up and you just had a place to put your GoBots. There was no real playability. It had an
Right.
elevator, I guess.
Yeah.
but that was really it.
And the elevator always hung up and got stuck, and then when you
Yes.
finally unstuck it, it knocked all the GoBots off the playset.
The only gimmick that was cool was the
Yeah.
alarm that was
Yeah.
on there. You know.
Yeah,
So,
with the light up face. The very
Your parents'
analog.
favorite part of it.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mark C says the Indiana Jones toy line needed to develop their own generic booby trap temple sets. Then it could have had
Yes.
possible. That's kind of what I'm saying is make it more generic. And seriously, have like a thing where like the boulder like rolls down like a little path.
Yeah, that
You
would
can
be
have
cool.
your figures like run from it. And, he gets
Well,
knocked
and
down.
think about while we're dreaming,
That's
while
fun.
we're just thinking what we want. If you could have them interconnect, and then as each movie came
Oh,
out,
yeah.
you could actually join pieces of later
have
movies
the
to the
world.
previous movies, and he could progress through.
Or you
You know,
could
each
you
of the
could create
things.
your own modular adventures because you could say, I'm going to take the rope bridge and I'm going to end it with the boulder from
Oh,
Raiders.
imagine that! Like, imagine
Yeah.
you and your buddies get together and you try to come up with some permutation to get through.
Yeah.
Kind of like a precursor to a Dungeons and Dragons game where you just sort of set up the world and then figure
Yeah.
out how you're going to get through it.
I want the first thing to happen to Indiana Jones is I want him to have to choose the Grail. And then if he chooses it wrong and he turns into a skeleton demon, then he has to run the gauntlet to get his soul back.
Sorry, not
And
very
then there are going to be
penitent.
aliens.
That's a Nintendo game.
Well,
Wouldn't that be
that's
cool, though?
the catch. You know, and on the I can't remember what game it was, Michael, but it was the one where they had the little pad that went on top of your Xbox or PlayStation. You could put a figure on it, and then it would appear in the video game.
Right.
That was Disney Infinity. Or
It
something
was.
weird
We
like
had that
what?
briefly. It
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
sad because
Kind
we
of like Skylanders.
It was
Oh, yeah,
one
my
of the-
kids are into that.
It was
we
one of the.
invested in that, and then it just like died.
It just vanished. They turned the servers off. Everything went badly. But that was the first time in a while I got a little bit excited about the idea that you had a figure that you could sort of interact with on its own. It was on a stand. It was more like
Yep.
a
Why
statue.
did they get rid of that?
But
That was a
then,
great
you know, you
concept.
could put the
didn't
figure on,
ever
and then
do
you
enough
would
with
put like another piece on, and that would actually tell it what game you were
Yes.
in. So you could like put another Disney character and a Death Star on it, and all of a sudden your Disney character was running around in the Death Star game.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
And it was an interesting idea of sort of blending reality and the video game world.
Yep.
But it went away. It's gone, and now I'm sad.
Thanks for bumming everybody out. Wicked Person says, "Stand by Me playset. How about an It playset?"
We all had
As
Because-
that.
long as it's the pit.
That's
with
what
the
parents
meteor.
want to buy for their kids.
We all had that out in
Hey,
front
it
of our
comes
house.
with a real dead body.
Somewhere in
a
the
real
blocks around us, there was some gutter that all the kids were warned never to go into, and that we all walked by with thinking there was something
If
wrong.
we're talking
There's
about
something
having
there.
if we're talking about having play sets of things that didn't even have toy lines, I want a Ninja 3 golf course play set. And
That would be amazing.
I mean, and it comes with the one
Golf
Ninja.
court-
You
golf
hold
cart.
You hold
You
your
could have the
ninja,
golf cart sold
pops up,
separately.
and you hold it, and he holds it.
Yep, and then it's
He had like a pit that he like buries himself in, and then he like
Uh-huh.
jumps down. He's like, ah!
that would be great.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
We've
even.
gone off the rails.
It comes with like a power
Nope.
line thing on the side where like the girl can like be up doing her like power line
Uh-huh.
thing.
Yeah.
And
We
then
want to
she
be
like
crazy. I want the Battlestar Galactica.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
there's all with Adama and
That's also going to be 330 feet of Legos
Yeah.
to make that a reality.
Jody says, "Do you prefer smaller scale toy lines with bigger, as in more complete play sets, like Tracy Island,
Yeah, Tracy Island from the Thunderbirds. Yeah.
or larger scale, like 3 3/4, with downscaled or even only partial play sets?"
I don't mind some downscaling as long as most of the features are there. So like the Millennium Falcon, it's downscaled, but everything you saw the characters interact with it in the movie is in the toy, right? So all that stuff is there, and it's not squatty compromised. Like it's still I don't mind things being scaled down a little bit. This is too much scaled down.
Yeah.
Like this right here.
I don't
is a
even
hot
know.
mess.
I don't even know what this is supposed to be.
It's supposed to be a Star Destroyer.
It looks like a gondola, like you'd string a long string, and it would be the thing that goes between 2 points.
What they did was they took the bridge of the Star Destroyer, squished it, and then crammed his meditation chamber on the end so that they could have that as
and
well.
then added a laser gun.
and added a laser gun, and it's just a mess.
Well, I mean, if you look at Starriers, for example,
Mhm.
I like the scale down with the more detail.
Right.
You know, the micro
Mhm.
Star Wars, I think, are
Yeah.
amazing playsets. The only playsets I'm going to say majority I think they got right was a lot of the G.I. Joe stuff.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
they
the G.I.
got-
Joe ones are pretty solid.
I personally like the larger ones because my favorite play sets were Barbie related, and like my Barbie house was like my favorite play set that I ever got. And even though I had a lot of My Little Pony stuff, the Barbie play set like took up an entire wall in my room because it was like an 80s bedroom, so it wasn't very big. But it was so great because you could like change stuff around, you could store stuff in there. It was really, really cool.
You had the rare Salem, Massachusetts Barbie playset, didn't you?
I think so.
I was about to ask, with a 3D printer and a Barbie doll house.
I can't tell you how excited I was when I actually
Melinda
got
could
to
do
go to
some
Salem,
crazy
Massachusetts.
stuff. So,
I was there. It was awesome.
I was there. I saw it all. He reached up with his dead hand, signed it in his own blood. And he did it with this pen.
This pen.
It's Batman.
Yeah, 89.
Blake Romo says, got my MacGyver jacket in vintage 87, absolutely beautiful, but had to get the sleeves altered. Unfortunately, I'm built more like Jack Dalton, not Mac.
Wait, I want to read that one more time.
Hopefully you don't act like Jack Dalton, because that guy needs to get punched in the face.
Had to get the sleeves altered. Oh wow! So you had to alter a leather jacket. That couldn't have been cheap. But I'm glad you got it.
Can we acknowledge what I said about Jack Dalton and how much I hate him?
We can acknowledge that Jack Dalton's an obnoxious character.
God, I
yes.
hate him. Why did they have him on that show? My God.
What an excellent
What a
foil,
travesty.
though. What an
No.
excellent
Well,
foil.
he should burn at the stake.
Well, he would if it were up to me. Brian Dillingham says, it says, you ever have generic playsets like Star Fortress? Did you ever?
I had some generic vehicles like the MCB1, but I never had generic play sets. But I've heard of them. Some of them look pretty neat, but I never owned any.
Usually it was the army,
Yes.
stuff that was.
Pesky Angel says the BSG Kickstarter playset for $1,500. Greg Klein says Tim is easy to please. He only needs 2 football fields as a play area.
That's all.
Yeah, he's going to set half of that on fire by accident.
true.
Anyway.
Well, this is true.
It just makes it more realistic
I'm
when
not
the
gonna deny.
klaxons start like going off.
I'm not gonna deny. I
Tim's
do
Lego
accidentally.
Enterprise had to have real plasma. In the
I
engineering section.
accidentally set things on fire. I do that a lot.
Master
has
Son
happened,
42 says I grew up poor, so my favorite playset was a refrigerator box.
Awesome.
I created a Star Destroyer out of that box and was able to get the TIE Fighter in there.
That is true. You actually, yes,
That's cool.
that's really cool.
Big boxes like that were like worth their weight in gold
They were.
when we were kids.
They were.
Someone talked about Barbie. What did it went away. Sorry. Barbie Dreamhouse was as big as a love seat. It was borderline furniture from Pesky Angel. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't have the real Barbie Dreamhouse. I had a knockoff Barbie-sized house. But I almost think that in looking back on it, because I've seen it again in the catalogs
it
that I
better?
have, I kind of like it better. It's better than the A-frame one because there's literally more rooms and more space in it.
Right.
Willie Woodward says, for imaginary playsets, I'd want MK2 stages. I don't know.
Mark II stages. Mortal
Michael Knight 2 stages.
Kombat 2
Mortal
stages.
Kombat 2 stages.
Oh,
Fatality.
that would be.
Get over here.
Get over here.
Blake Romo says $28. Asian Taylor, probably one of Jack's cons.
Oh, wow. Well, the fact that he was able to alter a leather jacket is pretty impressive. So,
Mark C says, my sister had a strawberry shortcake house. When I saw how much plastic could be sold, when I saw how that much plastic could be sold, I got pissed about how they built playsets for boys.
yeah,
Yeah, we've got the strawberry shortcake house, and it is huge. And they had like the furniture and stuff was sold separately, which was crazy because you had like a whole like living room set and a dining room set and a bedroom set and a bathroom set and like all these different things. It was a total rip.
and all that furniture is now worth as much as the house.
And ours came with a good bit of it.
Yeah.
So but it's not like it's incomplete because I get mixed messages about whether the house came with the furniture or not. It may have come with some furniture. I can't really tell.
Makes me wonder if they had more than one edition or version. So there may have been
Could
some
be.
that had different parts of the furniture set, but none of them had all of it.
Maybe.
I've seen
Wicked
things happen
Person
that way.
says, always found funny, obnoxious characters like Jack Dalton or George Costanza didn't make me laugh. Yeah. Obnoxious characters, especially like Jack Dalton, who is literally working against the hero, but the hero is still continuing to be friends with him. It's like it undermines the hero. It undermines MacGyver to me that he would continue to be friends with someone that crooked and shady and crappy. It's like you are who you associate with. And
You're asking a lot
That
of this
guy's
team.
a
What does
losery
that-
shyster.
Make me.
Awesome.
Because you are who
Friends
you
with me.
hang out with.
I'm just
yeah.
like, But you like to burn people and bury them
No,
alive.
I don't. I like to save people from being burned
Okay. Well, you know,
after
you're right.
putting them in danger
But
in the
notice
first
that's
place.
that's not the part of the story she emphasized when she told us.
I actually did. You just didn't hear it. You guys heard it. Probably not. Michael Hinkson says the Star Destroyer playset should have been 2 levels, one for the bridge, the other for Vader's meditation chamber and other features.
Yes.
Yes.
That is true. And it should have been a little longer as well.
Wilson Tortosa says, I kind of like Jack Dalton, though.
Well,
Fair
that's
enough.
fine.
I mean, that's fine. I do. When I watch the show, I literally scream at the TV. Ask Michael.
I don't hate Jack Dalton the way she does.
I cannot
I just
stand
feel like
him.
he's a part of the show. So like, like
I had blocked
get
him out.
irritated at him too. but-
Right.
I had literally blocked him out and didn't remember he was on the show. And when we went back to like watch all of it, and we hit the first episodes, which is not very far in. He's in some of the first episodes. I'm like, who is this jerk? Is he in all of it? Like, because the second episode he shows up, I'm like, oh my God, is he going to be in like all these episodes? And Michael's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't remember him. I remember
I don't want to watch this anymore.
I don't want to watch this anymore. I remember the bald guy, and I remember like several different ladies that they tried out, never could make it stick, and I remember everything else. I literally blocked him out of my mind. He's so obnoxious.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it. MacGyver never got a playset. So,
And why is that?
Because he
Could
could
it
make
come
his
with
own
duct
out of
tape?
whatever's around him.
Exactly.
That's true.
The world is
That's true.
MacGyver's playset.
That's true.
Ooh, that's a great tagline for the toy.
The world is
Just
MacGyver.
the
Just the action
That is a
figure.
great
Yeah.
tagline.
Like a-
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll hotwire and steal your other action figures vehicles, and he doesn't need a playset. The world is his playset.
That's
What am I
true.
doing on the Starship Enterprise D?
I'll figure something out.
I need a plasma coil.
So funny.
You know, the funny thing about plasma, when
Oh
it
my
gets
God.
really hot, it burns
Well,
through things.
okay, so what
To fix
playset are
that-
we missing in
Wow.
RetroBlasting?
What playsets are we missing?
So
Well,
check
what's-
this. I
oh,
can't
sorry.
share this, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ones where they sold you the basic plans through a catalog, and it was sort of a generic, you know.
I don't know. That looks really cool, though.
this says Beta Ray Bob says, has anyone built the Woman's Day Space City playset designs from the early '80s? And then Tim Ward like posted a picture of it so we could see what it looks like. And
I don't
That's
know, but
just-
that is awesome.
That's one of a
That's-
few different designs that they
Was that-
offered. Out
Was
of
that
those.
one where they
incredible,
just sent you plans?
They
Or
just
did
sent
Wow.
you, they sent
so
you plans.
You were
and
supposed to go get the
Materials.
fiberboard or whatever
yeah,
it is.
and whatever they told you was needed to build those.
If you could ever keep our parents' attention long enough.
I
don't
know, right?
I don't think my dad would have ever
you got to snap.
gotten. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think my dad would have gotten into that.
I
either.
just feel like with playsets when we were kids, especially when you would ask for one for Christmas, your parents are doing more than like normally with any toy. They're like, how much does this cost? Right. But with playsets, it's not only how much does this cost, but how big is this thing? Do I
Right.
have to build it on Christmas morning? You know, once Santa brings it, like, am I gonna, you know, whatever. Like, I don't want to have to deal with.
Well, I actually did try
Right?
when I was 12 to build a deck for my Sky Strikers
Mhm.
out of plywood with a
Yep.
with a saw, and
Nice.
got in big trouble.
Oh, because you were handling a saw.
Because I had a skill saw in my hand.
Oh,
But
God.
I'm just saying,
How old were you?
I was 12.
You were-
I was in shop class. I knew what I
Yeah.
was doing.
Well, maybe it was just
It
the
was
expense of the
fine.
plywood. Because I mean, I went to buy some plywood the other day and was like, "Oh no, I'd rather just buy a new car." Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
this is
it never worked out right because I didn't know how to make the tower. But I had kind of the right shape a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't have paint to paint, and then I got bored.
well. See, and how magic is it now? With through the internet, you can actually find the dimensions or schematics for things like that and draw it
Yes,
out on a piece of plywood.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, there is that guy that I shouldn't encourage you, but there's this guy.
Please
Who-
encourage
No,
Tim.
you should encourage.
He made
Tim.
the 65-foot flag.
Yes,
to
which
scale.
is amazing. I
Yeah.
will say
I mean,
that
the
thing
Sky
is,
Strikers
yes.
are just lined up on it. Like,
Yes,
just
I
like
love
they
that
are.
picture. I love that picture.
Yeah.
So Wilson says, to be fair about Jack Dalton in all caps.
Oh.
His shenanigans and get-rich-quick schemes always brought MacGyver all sorts of crazy adventures. Well, that's true, Wilson. Can I make everyone remember the 1985 movie The Falcon and the Snowman?
No, please don't.
It's a great true story
Starred
about
Anthony Mackie. the
Sean
Falcon.
Sean Penn was in it.
Okay.
Um,
yes.
So it was about a true story of a guy who stole government secrets, and then his high school buddy, who was like a drug dealer, like took it down to Mexico and went to like the what do you call it, the Russian embassy, the USSR embassy, and sold the secrets to them. And like this was like a scheme they had going on. Like he had gotten security clearance, and he was like sneaking out these documents and selling them. So he brought adventure to the whole thing, but was it a good thing, and was he likable? Is
that even remotely close to a MacGyver episode?
I think so. I think it's the same exact thing.
I'm just
feel like
trying
you're
to
stretching
visualize
just a
Russian
little
guy
bit.
like having a burrito for lunch. That's what I'm trying to visualize.
Wow, Michael.
What?
I mean,
There's other food in Mexico.
I
than
know
just
that,
burritos.
but if
Seriously.
you're in the land of the best burritos ever, why would you not have a burrito? And so then I'm visualizing.
well, at the embassy, apparently, according to the guy who was the drug dealer guy, who was the one interfacing with them, they served him Russian food, and it was terrible.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
Russian food, I
Yeah.
hear is terrible.
mean,
I've never had it.
No,
Vodka and
it's
potatoes.
wonderful.
How do you go wrong? All right, Master
I'm a
Son.
big fan of borscht, man. It's good stuff.
Master Son says,
No.
I
Y'all
wish
need some culture is all I'm saying.
focus.
All right.
I wish they had a Bionic 6 playset of their house. What would be cool to see? That would be cool to see them and have the ship fly out the side. It would have been huge, though.
Yeah.
Bionic 6. What is this Bionic 6?
Bionic 6 does have a playset. It's
What?
the lab.
What?
Okay.
It does?
Yes.
You know, if we only had a video that we could reference.
Do you know how much a video at the end of the day doesn't
And-
matter? Do you know why it doesn't matter? Because then
we
people
could
are like,
talk about.
They gotta
but-
do
because
this.
then 3 years later, someone's like, hey,
You know,
do you ever heard of anything called Bionic 6? And I'm like,
Just
yeah, I did this
say
big
it,
video about it. You know what people ask me
By
all
the
the time?
time we get Bionic 6, nobody's going to know,
You know
what
what?
it
Do you know
is.
what people ask me all the time, despite the number of videos I've made? You know what they ask me all the time? This is why I'll tell you why videos don't matter. Because people will ask me, so what's the safest way to clean plastic when I'm restoring a toy? Oh, I don't know. I've already said it like 30 times. It's called a toothbrush and some warm water and Dawn soap. But hey, you know, those 30 videos I made, that didn't matter because you're just going to ask me and I'm going to have to answer it a million times.
Guys, there's one on here that I hadn't thought of before. The Die Hard playset.
Ooh, Nakatomi Plaza.
This is
That's child
PM
friendly.
Mr. Misty, I think. Threw that one
As
in
long
there.
as we got dude and he can do
Now
the
I
right
have a
look when he
machine gun.
falls.
What, are you gonna go get a Die Hard playset? out of
Oh, I'm
nowhere?
putting the Star Destroyer away.
Willie Woodward says, what always bugged me about Trek was how they never made the aliens and ships from the shows in 1/18th scale. They could have made the ships really cool.
Man, a bird of prey or something like that.
Michael is focusing, so he's not paying attention, so he's not responding, but I'm sure he agrees.
Yeah, the alien ships from the show.
What, I can't hold them.
My thing was always that they did make some of the aliens. They were always just hard to find. So the motion picture
His
Mego
complaint is the scale, dear.
Yes.
The 1/18th scale would have been better because then the ships would have been cool.
Oh well, yeah, the ships were always a problem because the ships were already so big that you couldn't feasibly make action figure playsets out of them.
Tim Hayes wants to know whatever happened to that custom Battlestar playset you got.
I've still got it. I just haven't built it yet because it's going to require an X-Acto knife and patience.
All right, nobody move.
Mark C says, "I'll remember Falcon and the Snowman if you remember Condor Man." I don't remember Condor Man, but
They're both two bird-related names, though.
I bet Aaron could probably guess why I remember Falcon and the Snowman.
Because it has something to do with the USSR.
Nope,
Then I'm at a loss.
it was a dollop episode
Oh
about the real story, not the movie.
no, that actually I should have got that. I
You
really should have.
You really should have.
Because everything that she knows is from a dollop episode, except unless it's one of her many degrees.
Thank you, Aaron.
You earned those.
Yeah, boy, I'm still paying for them in so many ways.
That's not even funny.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it hurts so much.
Let's see. They could have. Bjorn says they could have done a Hill Valley playset. That's true. Although, like, once he busts through into the barn and does the barn buster moment, like, what is there left to do in Hill Valley? Like,
Well, the
I guess-
estate with the wire and all that.
The wire with the car and the town square with the clock.
And they'd have to make the signs rotatable between 1955 and.
Oh, that would have been an amazing gimmick, though,
that
if you
would've
could
been-
swap
that
them
would've been
from the
cute.
time.
Yeah.
You know, with that in mind, you could make a They Live playset that does the same thing.
Oh, that would have been really cool too.
You could use that technology, like the lenticular thing, where you see like, you know, the two different things.
Sort of like you do with your rear view mirror. You know, you flip the switch and it
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of changes that.
Switch.
Yeah,
You
or
just
yours
move it?
automatic. No, a lot of them have a little thing you can, and then you can push it back. It's
How
like a
new is
lever.
your car?
Fairly? Why? Where are you going with this? Are you calling my car old
Oh,
or
you talking
new?
about like that? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think of that as.
I'm
a
sorry.
Switch. I just mean like a.
It is literally a switch, but I know you have one that just does it for you, which is nice.
No,
Like,
I don't. My
love
car
that
is old. Wicked Person says, question for Michael. Did you ever notice that the original Kenner Luke figure has a yellow rather than a blue lightsaber blade?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're going to give you time to run before we let go of Michael.
That was really
Hold me back. Hold me back.
I pick up what you're putting down, Wicked. And I do appreciate the humor.
No, that was brilliant. That was
I
some
do.
chess. That was some chat room chess that just got played right there,
That
folks.
was awesome.
Chat room chess is a good name for a song.
Master Son says, as soon as Melinda reads this, hit the like button. So
Oh, I think
you
brilliant.
can hit that like button.
Yes.
That would be cool. If you want to go ahead and hit the like button, that would be cool.
Hey, you know, if it's not too much to ask.
All right, so let's see what we got here.
we
have
got like 750 of you guys in the chat room, and it's pretty amazing.
Hello to all of you, each
So-
and every one.
Well,
Each
this has
and
been an especially fun live stream.
we have 3 things to open today.
Yeah, this first one comes from
It's sealed air.
South Yorkshire, England.
The air inside is from England,
From-
so can we
So
breathe it in?
Sniff real good.
Don't. That is not the right way to open mail right now, people.
Ah.
Oh my goodness. What
That's
is
some
wrong?
of that UK COVID. That's
Oh my gosh.
Running.
really?
Oh,
Don't even say that word. Don't even
Somebody
say that word.
sent a Luke Skywalker Bespin minifig that comes in its own baggie.
What?
oh, look how cute he
That
is.
Very cool.
Hey Michael, if only I could get a bag of Luke.
Hey, did you notice the color of his lightsaber?
Yeah, what is it?
It's blue.
What?
I know.
I am shocked.
You can call it a bag of Luke, but I prefer to call it sack o' Bespin.
Hey, hand me a sack of Bespin, will you? Well, I got a bag of Luke if you're interested.
Steve, thank you so much.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That is neat.
Willie says it'd be cool if there was a haunted house playset.
Well, there kind of is one with the Remco mini monsters. It's
And the
sort of a-
Filmation Ghostbusters thing is kind of
yeah,
also
yeah.
like a haunted house.
If you spray painted the Filmation Ghostbusters one right and took off a few accessories, you could make the Psycho house.
These
out
all
of it.
sound
Although
like
if
terrible
you
ideas.
did that, then you would be crazy because that playset is
Yeah.
so expensive.
Yeah. All right. Now this
Unless
is,
you like get one from an auction from us, in which case it's like
Yeah, unusually
on the
less
dollar.
expensive than normal, but that was a one-time only experience. I think.
mm,
this says to be opened on a live stream. Cheers, Tony from Analog Toys.
What?
and
he's-
I don't think Tony is with us in the chat yet.
But he
because
sent
it's
this-
like 4:45 in the morning there right now.
sent
so-
this
I don't think
all
that
the
guy
way-
ever sleeps.
This came all the way from Australia, the far side of Australia.
My favorite place.
It
The
is the
far
far
side.
side of Australia.
All right,
It's
here
like
we go.
the dark side of the moon.
Now I'm hearing that in my head.
You're welcome.
Like that whole album just
Yep,
played.
just the whole thing.
Yeah, just all in
Synced
like
up with
10
the Wizard of
seconds.
Oz and everything.
Oh, now I saw it. Stop doing this.
All right.
Ooh,
I was listening
Poltergeist
to Pink
playset.
Floyd.
That's a cool idea. You
That's
could like
a good one.
shove Carol in the closet and she could fall out through the living room.
And have the 80s slime is
Bloop.
part of the.
The slime, yeah, you could put the slime.
Holy
Perfect.
crap.
What has he done?
Michael,
What have you done?
Michael, there's a few items in here that will hopefully add to your Kylie collection. If you already have them, then oh well, at least you'll have spares. Cheers, Tony. P.S. Take these swim fins and stick them.
Up your nose. This is
Take
the
these-
running gag now.
Take these swim fins and stick them up your nose. These are for the diver here. So I'll
Oh,
be putting
holy
these-
diver!
I'll put these over here. So they'll go with the diver. Thank you, Tony. sent us a Blu-ray of a movie called The Outpost. The mission was survival, the most heroic battle of the Afghanistan War.
Interesting. May I gander?
Yes, you may.
It looks like it has Legolas in
Gee,
it.
it does.
It does.
How about
He's
that?
bald though.
He's just got his head shaved. He's not bald.
Analog
And-
Toy. Well, that's what I meant. Analog Toys is Tony, by the way. I don't know if we said that, but let's plug his channel real quick.
Analog Toys, for those of you that don't know, Analog Toys is one of the best toy channels on YouTube. It's one of the toy channels that I've been subscribed to for years. Tony does a great job with his features and documentaries. He just did an Evel Knievel live stream yesterday. He is also just a good guy.
That's about to say, just having spent a little bit of time with him, you know, outside of this this group right here, I really do like the guy a lot.
Yeah. So he has sent the 3 CD edition of Kylie's greatest hits, Step Back in Time, which is awesome. And he has sent the live in concert 2 CD plus DVD edition of
Wow.
Golden, which was the album she recorded in Nashville, which is where I was born. So the universe kind of came together on that one.
That kind of came up recently.
Tony, thank you so much, man. I will add these to the library. And it is a library. It's the
Kylie Library.
Kai Library.
Nice.
Is it a Kylie Library?
And then he sent a brand new packet of Tim Tams. original
They're
flavor.
real ones. They're
Real
from
ones.
Australia.
That's right. Tony, thank you so much, man. It's awesome.
Those are the
Awesome.
good flavor ones. The just original. Kal-El48 says, "Hello, Michael. I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed the slot cars video. Keep up the great work."
That
Oh,
was
thank
a
you.
fun video, Michael.
Thank you.
You outdid yourself on that one.
That was a nice palate cleanser. It was like,
I was loving how you put suspense in whether or not the cars were going to hit each other
Uh-huh.
in the middle. Like I was going, "Don't do it," and then it was like,
And those were just random hits that got captured on camera.
"Were they?" 'Cause
Yeah,
that hurt.
I didn't
was
engineer.
worried about, are the cars okay? 'Cause,
What I
mean,
did was
those
I
were-
set the cars up and I just let them go, and then I said, no matter what happens in the intersection, I'm just going to film it. And I waited, and sure enough,
Did you
bam.
look away? Were you?
I was like,
Look away.
We only have one more, but it's like a
look
Christmas
away.
level package.
okay.
So I'm setting it right here.
Oh, I hope it's a bazooka.
Wicked Person says Overlook Hotel / The Shining playset. Well, that would be
Oh.
interesting. You could have the little topiaries outside, make it more like the book.
One of them's actually him, just frozen.
Wesco White says Dreamland. Melinda, what do you think of my favorite metal band, Bolt Thrower? Great work, guys. Honestly, I'm not as familiar with Bolt Thrower, although I have heard of them. But they sound like sort of operatic metal. When we picked up this box, can I just tell you, at the post office, I was like making all kinds of jokes about what was in there.
Was it heavy?
I don't know if it's.
It's very loud. It's a very loud box.
It's got some round.
Got some rounds.
Mark C says back in the 70s there was a haunted house board game that you built a cardboard 3D house on with a tower in the center that you dropped a metal marble into. It made a good haunted house playset.
Would have been cool.
That sounds cool. Sounds like something I would have liked to play, but
Yeah.
I never had anyone to play games with, so I.
Me and Melinda play board games. Well, we
I just glare at you while
we
you're
need to
playing
play
board games.
Like, I was just.
Oh, Tim. Oh, Tim.
That looks like a nacelle.
Oh, it's the laser tag rifle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's one of those.
I have never seen that.
This is.
It's the coolest toy.
It was supposed to be black plastic, but
Yeah.
the controversy
It looks like a stormtrooper
around
rifle.
laser tag meant that they didn't come out in black, they came out in white. Tim is freaking out. And these were some of the last products
Yes.
sold in the laser tag line,
They were $30,
which
I
was
remember,
expensive
yes.
even then. Extending stock.
Oh,
That is insane.
Can you imagine how
What are all the
fun
little-
that this would be to work into something at Dragon Con, to like run around with this at Dragon Con? Just
Oh, and you're just standing around minding your own business, and all of a sudden your laser tag thing like lights up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you've been hit.
you like play laser tag throughout the whole.
I cannot recommend playing a shooting
Uh-huh.
game at a thing like that.
There's so
though.
many people with plastic
Just
guns.
not a-
It's,
Not a-
everything laser tag was just
Yes.
It's
so freaking.
It looks like a Mako shark.
Oh,
like
it
it
looks
is
like-
really cool.
And this
Here,
one had,
get
like, extra
make sure you're
range.
in
Uh-huh.
frame.
yeah, you're not in frame.
Make sure you're
honey.
in
You need to
frame.
walk.
Oh, sorry.
People want to see what you're.
It had extra range to it. I mean, it was just. Oh, look, it's actually got crosshairs in it. That's cool.
Don't mess with Tim. Look at that, man. Tim, I got to say, that's one of the coolest pictures of you I've ever seen.
And we have here. Oh, this is a rare piece. This is an original base plate for the.
Oh, yeah, the Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
And Willie Woodward, I thought the same thing. It almost looks like one of the next-gen phaser rifles.
Oh,
Yeah, it does.
I think I accidentally ripped the sticker on the front.
I did see something flap around.
Yes.
It may have fallen like somewhere else though.
I was hoping you would get one of those, though. I really was.
Oh, a rifle like
Kind of
this?
wish you had 3 more.
No, the base.
Oh, the base plate, yeah. But this base plate needs
Looks
some,
like outlets in
it
space.
needs some restoration.
Uh-huh.
It's got some missing parts and
So how do
It's
you
supposed to-
wash plastic like that? What?
That's a great question,
I
Aaron.
think so too.
but this was one of the original sort of accessory pieces that was sold with the Kenner line that wasn't a vehicle or anything like that. This was one of the first ones, 12s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Who
for
do
the original
you
12
appreciate?
figures. So this is quite a cool piece, and I'll work toward restoring
No way.
it and making it look really nice. It'll be awesome.
Yep.
Very, very kind to send that.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, Tim,
It's just for Tim.
we have here.
It's like Dreamlight is just
He
cut
hates
off.
us.
Like
Yeah.
I know how much you love cardboard.
he's not disagreeing. Is it cardboard?
It's another laser tag rifle still in the box.
Made out of cardboard.
So freaking cool.
I do have to admit, Tim's reaction is pretty great.
Merry
Man,
Christmas,
you want to talk
Tim.
about taking me
Okay, now bring it over to the camera.
back. Wow, that is. You got to take the bubble wrap off.
All right, you just hold that in.
That
This
I don't
is
even know how
incredible.
you would find one in the box like that.
Oh, dude, these were like. He's right. These were at the very end of the
It's
run.
got a Zayers sticker on it.
Now, question:
This
how
is
do you
so cool.
clean cardboard?
All
A
right,
world made of
so
cardboard? Do you
pull
have
up-
any tips on
pull
how to
up-
clean
pull.
cardboard?
I'll hold this.
I think once the oil gets
Wait,
into
wait,
the
wait,
cardboard,
wait.
there's not a
On the
lot
bottom?
you can
Oh.
do.
God, I'm just doing that today, aren't I?
There's some pretty big excitement in the chat room on this one, fellas.
Yeah, it's
You know, we need to.
Wrong.
This way.
Lisa says
Oh.
I'm only hearing crackles.
I know. We're gonna get this
Yeah.
in front of the camera as soon as possible.
Did I do that?
No.
Did
In the
I
meantime,
do
let's
that?
dance.
All right.
Nope, just me. All right, fine. I'll just
Uh-huh.
dance by myself.
Man, look at that.
Just me
Star
That
dancing.
is. Okay, that is just the coolest. I wanted one of these so bad when I was little.
Which means I bet you that that shoulder strap is included.
High powered and hot.
So cool.
You must wear gloves too. to
Oh,
hold
That's what it
this.
said under my yearbook picture.
Here, set that right there. I don't even,
I'm kidding.
What are all the dials on the side? You got to tell me.
Oh,
what are
it's for
those?
range and beam width.
Don't lose that
and-
sticker.
I won't.
Like all the stuff from our favorite sci-fi books.
Yes,
You know, we
it's
could
all
sort
in
of.
one little. The sound effects the thing made were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything laser tag to me is like just was some of the coolest toys ever.
Yeah, they were ergonomically perfect.
Oh.
So I have a
So
question.
cool.
On the back, there's a kid. He's wearing a silver vest that goes over his orange jumpsuit for when he goes to prison for using a gun in the street. Where can you buy the vest? Was that a thing?
Yes,
Really?
and the,
Okay.
and the vest actually, if I'm not mistaken, you could put multiple sensors on the vest.
Now, did that Velcro on and change? You can.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it had like some side straps.
Because
A friend of
if you
mine had these.
remember, when you got the original this set,
Mhm.
the game kit just came with the black gun with the sensor, and it had these weird black straps that were really not very comfortable, and the sensor would kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we
Flop
had when we
around.
did the video
Mhm.
about it.
The
Right.
vest was what everybody wanted because it held it
yeah.
real
Yeah.
centered and
The controversy as far as taste went when it came to laser tag, people came around. Do you really need the helmet? Come on, if you had the helmet, it was like, really?
well, you were just a bigger target.
Right.
Someone asked what year was this. The copyright on it says 1987. So
Yeah, that was about. But like I said, this actually came out right at the end. Like
Right.
If they had been smart, they would have let this out the year the kit came out, because the actual laser tag kit came out in
6, wasn't it?
85 or 86?
85 or 86.
85 or 86.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
Wilson says, I hear Sasa Studio playing in the background.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, yes.
Yeah, well, that was Photon.
That was Photon, but
yeah.
point taken.
Point
yes.
taken in the same year, same competition.
Right. Who
Um,
sent this?
I think it was Randy Talbert.
Randy, dude, you win the prize in my book. That's all I'm gonna say.
Chris,
What is the prize, Tim?
Chris says, Michael, do you think they had a Waterworld playset lined up for the movie?
Oh,
Well,
what would it be?
They had a whole action figure line that did come out for the movie, so I can only imagine if it had done.
Sure,
better.
yeah, they were bath toys.
That actually is not a bad idea.
I would imagine they would have done a playset probably if it had been more successful.
That's
ever
one
seen
thing you
paper?
don't see is a playset that for bath toys, because you don't have that much room.
You had
But
the Popeye playset. Do you remember?
no, there-
Mm-mm.
you got to come over
So,
to your microphone.
Michael, do you remember? You guys might remember. Early in the 80s when the Robin Williams Popeye movie came out, there was actually a play set of the island that went into the bathtub and like affixed to the faucet.
Oh, cool.
And when you turn the water on,
See,
it had
that's
a lot
a great
of gimmicks.
idea.
That is
like
a great
you would
idea.
use
Yes.
the-
It seems like you could put that in there and it would sort of like
And-
sit in, and then you
yeah.
could take it out like
Yes, you
almost like
could.
a TV tray style.
I'm trying to remember all the gimmicks it had, but you guys probably remember better than me. But that did exist.
I always wished that, like, because I had seaweeds and I loved playing with them, and they had floaty lily pads.
Yes. Yes.
But it seemed like it would have been cool to have some sort of like thing like that. I always pretended like it was a waterfall where the bathtub faucet was on, and I'd leave it on a little bit, and they'd be
I
like,
love
"Oh."
the idea from the Popeye one that integrated into the playset somehow, so you can have like
Yeah.
waterfalls on the
Yeah,
front of it
yeah.
or something.
That's smart.
Yeah.
There's your Jurassic World playset.
Oh, true.
It's like
True.
they listened to every problem and
Yeah.
they just solved it.
Kind of like Vanilla
I
Ice.
know we're at the end. So
Oh man.
The thing about bath toys though is they didn't ever really hold up well because they got all like used and wet and moldy and stuff. So
Yeah, that's gross.
like seaweeds though, like
It's the best gun ever. This is the best toy gun ever.
it's so cool.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that one.
They
It's-
fixed the
it's-
battery compartment. Remember the battery compartment, Melinda, you were talking about in the video? How the batteries would just look what they did there. They actually have a
I
lock.
saw the lock on there.
Yeah, so
Prozac Man says they had a Photon Arena in
This is
Virginia
great.
Beach when I was in middle school. I went there almost every weekend.
I don't know, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah, Photon actually had the presence.
Yeah.
Laser tag was the home. I don't know if laser tag ever had dedicated.
I don't
Stadium.
well, I mean
you
kids
break
would
it?
make their own,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, they didn't have
No, I'm
dedicated
just trying
like
to figure out how
photons.
this would
Right.
lock.
But the laser tag to me was definitely the cooler look and
Oh yeah, for sure.
just awesome gun. So.
Yeah.
It really does. I feel like you could play Star Trek with this thing.
Oh man, it was
because it looks like a phaser rifle.
the coolest ever. I wanted one so
I'm
bad.
gonna hand this back. Careful, the stock on it falls out.
Oh, that's
You
weird.
need to take it by a smith.
Yep.
Oh my god!
We know one.
All right, well it's
I
4
think we're
o'clock.
done. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got our after show next. Hit
Mike-
the like button. Join us on Patreon.
Yeah,
Michael,
join
why
us
don't you
on
take us
Patreon.
home, Michael?
and
All right, so guys, thank you so much. By the way, Tony and Steve and Randall. I mean
Randy,
Randy. Does he go by Randy or Randall?
what does it say on the box?
It only says R.
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 Mr. Talbert, thank you so much. These will be cleaned up and given a very good home, and I'll make sure that there's some video content about this for sure. But in the meantime, we're about to go do the Patreon after show, where we just kind of kick back for a little while. That'll happen in about 15 to 20 minutes after this ends. So for anybody on Patreon, you can
If you
follow
join
us.
Patreon, then you'll get the link inside the Patreon
Right.
thing, and you can just click that and keep watching and
Yeah,
hanging out with
I'm
us.
going to be telling a story on the after show about the almost RetroBlasting West Coast.
And I'm pretty sure there was a story I was going to tell, but I don't remember what it was.
We'll think of it.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, Tim remembers, so
All right.
sweet.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody, for joining us, and we will see you on the next live stream. I'm working on another video for next week, Pride of the X-Men. So watch for that as well. But you guys have yourselves a great weekend, and we'll see you later.
See you next week.
Bye. So,